My name is Edward Harrington of the Harrington Estate, and I'm the co-owner of Momentous Industries. You four have been summoned here this evening to take part in a simulation to test the mental endurance of 4 subjects from 1920. If you watching this video find searching for the truths of the universe important as we do, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Case File 4562. After seeing a reward notice in the Tatler newspaper in relation to the disappearance of Bartley Hodges, you have decided to go to Jennings, Vermont to find answers. Some of you, this is because you feel it is connected to the mythos, the strange goings-on in the universe. The unanswered questions may have answers here. For some of you, it is the monetary reward. And for others, well, I guess time will answer that question. You're driving along a long, winding road on the countrysides in New England. The rain is battering down off the windshield of the car, the wipers going as fast as they can. Just as quickly as you wipe the water off, there is a fresh layer covering. It is hard to see beyond a couple of meters. Driving this car is an elderly gentleman, Professor William Davis Stark, who I will let introduce himself. After you have done so, I would like you to pass on to the person in the passenger seat.
Hello there. I'm Professor William Davis Stark. I'm moved to this country from England after the war, but that's neither here nor there. He's an old gentleman, sort of mid-50s, but he'd tell you late 40s. Grey hair slicked back, dressed nicely, hat, nice coat, sitting in the driver's seat of his car, which feels like it's on the wrong side because it's the incorrect side. He will look over the brim of his glasses towards the person to his, I think right in American cars, the wrong way around, to one Rachel Hemingway and say, well, this weather's getting rather awful, isn't it? I think we should maybe try and get someone to hide away for the evening.
Well, I most certainly agree, says Rachel Hemingway, who is a 32-year-old journalist, and she likes to wear nice coats and always seems to go and look for things that fall slightly outside of the usual. And this fascination has somewhat alienated her from her friends and family, but it definitely provides her with entertainment. And Rachel Hemingway is going to glance at the rearview mirror and spot Anna Vixen and say, what do you think about finding a place to stay?
Anna just keeps looking out the window in a very melodramatic fashion. She is an actor in the silent film business, but also has a voice. She works as a singer on weekends in relatively reputable bars. She always wears the latest fashion, but you can tell that she's sewing some of it herself because she doesn't actually have that much money. She's got a personal interest in finding Bartley Hodges, and she definitely wants him to be safe and to be still alive. She just keeps looking out the window at the rain and sighs, and then looks at her neighbor for help, and Artie Gumshoe.
Artie Gumshoe, just PI, going from one job to the next just to get the money to pay the bills. I saw that this was a hefty reward for whoever is able to find any clues or shed some light on this case, so that's got me in. I'm just here for the money and just happen along with these 3 other people. Yeah. I'm also drunk, but not really. But kinda, yeah.
Well, there you have it. You have met our 4 investigators for this evening, and for the course of this simulation. As they continue down the winding roads to Jennings, Vermont, the rain continues with no signs of lightening up. They arrive in town and try to find the first little lodging inn they can find to cozy up for the night. It is small, decrepit, and not exactly the most eye-appealing thing in the world, but shelter is shelter, and time is getting late. You head inside.
Wow. This is lovely, right, guys? Let's go. Come on.
I mean, not quite what I'm used to, but it shall suffice.
Ah, William, you'll survive.
Beds are beds, I guess.
I just draw my scarf closer and sigh again.
You park up and head inside. It's warm. You wouldn't expect it to be so cozy, and it's a little nicer looking on the inside than it is on the out. And behind the front desk you can see someone frantically looking like they're cleaning up something behind the counter.
Are you all right there?
Oh, hello. Sorry. Was that an English accent as well?
Well, yes, it is.
Well, hello. Sorry. Can I help you? Sorry.
Yes, we were looking for some rooms for the evening.
Oh, some rooms. Oh, is it 4 rooms or is it?
Well, I would like 4, but if there's less than 4, I think we'll have to settle.
Well, we only really have 2 rooms available at the moment. Under renovation, you see. Just trying to fix the place up because, well, yes, I'm sure you noticed the sign outside falling off.
Little bit.
I immediately edge closer to Rachel.
Well, Anna and I will take a room together because, we can get to know each other. Be good.
To be honest, I kind of just want like a room by myself. Any chance you 3 are willing to bundle up and I could just get some peace alone?
Seem rather improper for an older gentleman like me to spread myself with such fine young women. I think that might be a bit weird.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Well, it's how many nights is that for?
I'll refer to the detective for how long you think it will take.
Well, I was kind of hoping just one day. I mean, I want to get this done as soon as possible, but...
Detective? Oh, is a detective? Why is there a detective here if you don't? Is something wrong?
Well, if you haven't murdered anyone, I'm sure it's fine. I'm on a case. Not sure if I should give much away.
Murdered someone? Me? No. What? I would never.
It was just a joke. Relax.
For that, I'm gonna have you do the first roll of this evening on our percentile system. If you look on your character sheet, you should see something under the ideas of persuade, fast talk, or something along those lines. I'd like you to choose the most appropriate on your character sheet to this situation and roll your D100.
Uh, 73.
Okay, and what is the percentage on your character sheet for the...
55 for fast talk.
This means that you have failed and have very clearly insulted this woman, upsetting her. Well, I think that well, I don't know what's happened to the boy. That's changed. What was her voice?
She was English.
Oh, yes. Oh, English. Yes. Well, ladies, here you go. That'll be $5 for the night for yous, and for you and the professor, gentlemen, it'll cost you $15.
I look at Rachel, expecting her to pay.
The woman.
Rachel does so.
The
and
woman
says, dinner's on you, right?
The woman very, very quickly and quietly, after giving you a stare of deep loathing, very quickly hands you guys the keys, the ladies the keys, and tells them the room number and points them to the stairs, having them sorted and you two fine gentlemen waiting in the lobby.
Seeing as it was your kind words that got us this, I think it's only fair that you pay. And I also drove you here.
I was kind of saving up some money for a bottle of scotch, really.
Are you sure you need more to drink? You were drinking quite a lot in the back of the car. You've stung the whole thing out.
Dude, you're a professor. I'm a PI that's struggling to get money. Can't you literally... Come on. Got an extra change, I'm sure.
I shall cover it for now, and I will fork over the extortionate $15 for the room.
As the woman takes the money, you can see a smile across her face. This has been a very financially successful day, thanks to that payment. She hands you the key, Professor, and darts Artie one last foul look as she tells you the room number and once again points you to the stairs.
Thank you, my dear. Let's go find our space then. We shall head up the stairs.
So you head up the stairs to your various rooms. They are, as you would expect in a place like this, 2 beds in each and very, very low quality. Everything looks slightly outdated even for the time that we are in. Wooden frames and the furniture look ready to fall apart, but standing enough to still keep this poor woman in business. And with that, I'll hand over to you guys to see if you want to do anything before you head off to sleep.
As soon as the room door closes behind us, I reach into my purse and I give Rachel half of the money. It's just, appearances.
Oh, I gotcha. That's so sweet. You know what? This room is really quite cute. Reminds me of sleeping in a tree house or something fun like that. You like tree houses?
I can't say that I've ever slept in one, but it seems fine. She just,
it's
really nonchalantly walks over to the window, looks out. Awful weather. And just sits down on one of the beds.
Yeah, you could say that. It's gonna make finding any clues of anything much harder. Not that... Well, yeah. The best thing, though, I find is usually just to talk to people. And when people stop talking, that's where you gotta look. Can't say it gets you many friends, but it usually gets you the information.
And with that, and the rain battering off the windows with a rat-a-tat-tat, a strike of lightning flashes as we jump into the gentleman's room. Would you like to do anything before going to bed?
I would quite like to find the least awful of the 2 beds.
Very well. Roll me a spot hidden.
Not hidden. I put extra points into that. That would be a 53, which is over my 40, so I get the worst bed, it looks like.
As you feel both the beds very quickly before Artie even enters the room, you find that the first bed is worth it, not even worth trying to check the second bed.
Smashing. I shall place my jacket upon it to show that it is mine.
As you do so, Artie enters the room, and suddenly the bed creaks, and suddenly a single slate drops from underneath, clearly demonstrating you have picked poorly.
Typical. I shall place my bags into any cupboards and probably have some light reading before I turn over for the evening.
I'll take off my coat, sling it by my bed, and take out a flask. It has a very small amount of alcohol left. Here you go, Doc. Just a little payback. Thanks for paying the 15.
I'm quite fine, my friend. You just keep that for yourself.
Alright. Helps me sleep better.
And as he finishes his flask of alcohol, of unknown alcohol, might I add, he falls into a deep slumber, as does the professor after reading some light reading, or to the rest of us, heavy reading, I'm sure. The two ladies also have went to bed and fell asleep. And as the rain batters and the wind blows through the night, you all sleep fairly well, expecting to find the answers quickly and easily. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is just a normal disappearance that you will all solve. At least, that's what you tell yourself. In the morning, the rain has stopped. The sun is not out shining, however. There is still a dark grey overcloud, perhaps foreshadowing what is to come for you. When you wake up in the morning and prepare yourselves, you eventually all head downstairs, meeting outside of reception once again. And I pass over to you.
So, where do we think would be a good place to start our investigation?
Well, no, ladies first.
Thanks, I guess. So I heard about, there's all the fires been going on and that kind of thing. So maybe we should just go check out Strafton Mountain. It seems like there's weird stuff going on there.
Take the words right out my mouth.
Yes, that seems like a reasonable start. Let's all hop in the car then.
I wait for one of the guys to hold open the door for me. The car door.
Before you can go anywhere, the woman pops up from behind the desk, as if surprised by the mention of Strafton Mountain. Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. It's
Do you
quite
know
a chilly
something
day.
about Strafton?
Not too much. No, it's a really windy day, isn't it? And you don't want to go up there and.
Then I shall wear my big coat.
I mean, it's up to you, but I'd make sure you've got supplies before you go up there, because it can be a long way back down.
Is there a general store or the like in the city?
It's more like a small town. there's a few. Not much. They mostly sell food supplies and that. You might be better checking out nearer the main heart of the town, towards the constabulary, where they might have some clothes shops there that might be able to help you out.
Then that seems like a reasonable start.
Are none of you staying for breakfast?
Well,
I mean, I did pay
Actually-
$50 to stay here, so might as well.
Does it extra charge?
Well, of course it is. It's only $1 for a full breakfast, and unlimited refills for an extra 50 cents.
I look at Professor Stark, like I'm looking at my dad, like, please, Dad, can I have this?
I'll be getting breakfast then.
Okay,
food
right,
is always good.
follow me.
Okay then.
And once again, the woman's accent changes to Scottish, because I'm not very consistent with my English accent. She
Nobody
leads.
noticed.
You really should work on that.
She leads you through the back, through doors round to the left, leading round to the back of where the reception is. It's a very small room, not something you'd expect in a lodge for a dining room. However, it's big enough to fit in 4 or 5 tables, and one big enough for the group of you to sit at. She goes and heads off to the kitchen and gives you some time at the table, after dropping the newspaper down for you to have a read. Once again, it mentions the files on Strafton Mountain, and it has a message in it about the reward that was mentioned before, about Bartley Hodges. I will happily read out the passage just now for our viewers. Reward offered. Missing Tatler correspondent, Jennings, Windham Country. Authorities report that Bartley Hodges, retired newsman and Jennings correspondent for this newspaper, has not been seen since Tuesday night, and is declared missing. Mr. Hodges is described as a 67-years-old man and with silvery hair, about 6 feet tall, thin, spry, and a man of ready speech and wit. Bartley Hodges is well known in this area for a congenial companion and an upstanding citizen. The Tatler will pay $500 reward to learn of his current circumstances. This has raised $250 from the article you first read.
Does seem like they're getting rather eager to try and find this man. Must be of some importance around here.
Well, I mean, they could be really worried about him. You know, staff, employee, company, all that jazz.
Do say
I don't think it's just that. He's such a wonderful person to be around.
Have you met him?
Of course I've met him. Many times. We're old friends. I'm so worried. I look out the window.
So, do you know where he might be? You know, does he like things like, I don't know, maybe going off and wandering around the side of a mountain for a couple days for no reason?
I only really met him in the city. I don't really know what he does in his spare time.
Well, maybe we can ask around town when we get supplies and that kind of thing and see if anyone there has heard of him or knows anything about the fires, because that just screams mystery to me.
I do say it is rather odd that she seems to be trying to divert us away from the mountain. And she knows that we've got a detective in our midst. Maybe there's just a theory off the top of my brain, but I think it might be that there's something else going on here if they're trying to divert us away.
You saw the building from the outside. It was run down. You'd get a bunch of dodgy people. She's probably just like skeptical because that tends to happen in a bad part of town.
That could be the case, but that's just a personal theory I'm currently working on. I think investigating the mountain with utmost haste is our best choice at the moment.
The woman comes back and puts down your breakfast for you, and puts down cutlery as quickly as she can and asks if she can get you anything else.
That'll be quite all right, my dear.
Very well, very well. She scuttles away off to the kitchens once more. Is there anything else you would like to discuss over your breakfast? Or are you ready to head out to the car?
Just so we're all on the same page, we're gonna go pick up some supplies, right?
Yes, I believe that is the case.
Seems like a good idea.
And you'll be leaving a tip for the fine lady, won't you, Artie?
I've got a spare few dollars. Sure.
Excellent.
Oh, Artie, that's nice.
The woman comes out after you've finished your breakfast, clears away the plates, and leaves a little small saucer with a handwritten receipt. $6 because all of you got a breakfast, and an extra 50 cents because all of you had refilled coffees. She gives Artie a look and then kind of gives you a subtle nod as if to say, sorry about last night, as she heads off to the back.
so I shall cover the breakfast then, but you're leaving the tips.
Sure thing, Doc.
Professor.
And on that note, you all head out to the car. Professor driving, as it's his vehicle. Who would like to sit in the passenger seat?
Well, Artie, I had dibs yesterday, so you want to take a go?
That would be lovely.
All right. Hey, Anna.
I scooch over.
The two gentlemen take the seats in the front and the two ladies in the back as they drive off into town. It's about half an hour further from where you're already at. The town is not the most exciting of places in the world. Probably only a few hundred folk actually live here. It's tucked very much into the hills themselves, with them looming over skyward. Its buildings are primed and well repaired, but they seem small and old. It's very clear that this town has not seen a lot of people come and stay in the recent years, but one thing is clear. The city center does not offer much in terms of goods and supplies. But you do arrive outside the constabulary, where there are still some small shops, but nothing to what the woman had suggested back at the inn.
So I was trying to drum up some local business, couldn't do any harm. Are we still wanting to hop out and get anything?
What kinds of shops are there?
So there are some local convenience stores. There are definitely one or two clothing stores sitting about. And this is kind of where any local businesses are as well. So if you say what you would like, I can maybe find a store that fits.
I think that Rachel would go and try to just find some basic supplies in terms of food that would stay good for a day or two and go pick those things up.
Well, there's plenty of options. The first store that you see looks more general convenience, so might have some hygiene products in there as well, some extra household items. Then there's the store next to it that looks like purely a food grocer's. They are probably the two that would draw your eye the most, as they are the two that look the most upkept and seem to be the busiest, with people going in and out. And by busiest, I mean one every 15 minutes or so.
I'm beginning to get a little bit worried, seeing that everything's a little bit run down, and I'm afraid that there might be, I don't know, perhaps bandits on the mountain, so might want to stock up on some ammunition for my handgun.
Well, as a private detective, you would know that probably the best place to go for that would be to talk to the local authorities, as small towns in these parts don't really have gun stores. Everything's usually provided through the police station. Or the police force, I should say.
And I suppose the police wouldn't be a bad place to start, see if they have any leads for us.
So, Rachel, would you like to head over to the stores first? Will we deal with that? Are you all wanting to split up or stay together?
I think probably stick together.
Okay.
Sounds sensible.
What would you all like to do right now? Supplies or police?
I suppose since we're here, we might as well start with the supplies, and then we can head over to see the officers.
Very well. You head over to the two stores. It's up to you which one you go in. General grocers or particularly the food grocers?
General grocers?
You head inside, and behind the counter is an elderly gentleman who gives you a nod and welcomes you to the store, while you can see he seems to be stacking some shelves behind the counter, putting up some jars of pickles. The store is brimmed with fresh vegetables on one side, and then on the other is general household products. Some hardware tools that might be used for maintaining the decor of one's home. Inside at the back, there's a younger gentleman who seems to be rummaging through what looks like some sort of candies.
I immediately go to the hardware section and look at the tools they've got.
Very well. Are you looking for anything in particular or just in general?
Just general things like hammers and, rope, that sort of stuff.
Most of this equipment looks like it was made here probably in town. Some of it looks second-hand on some of the stacks, but there's some particularly nice hammers and some nails, some screwdrivers, the usual. But most of it looks carved with wood and very, not necessarily old, but not exactly brand new.
I can consider the stuff for a second and then look at whatever Professor Stark is looking at.
I wasn't really intending on purchasing anything, if I was honest. I'm thinking I'm going to be fine with my coat. Might see if I could invest in some gloves. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, but what if the weather surprises us and we need to find shelter on the mountain?
You have a car.
But what if it breaks down? How can we repair it?
I'm sure I'll figure something out. Smart man.
Well, I trust you are. You must have so much life experience with these things, Professor.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic and it frightens me.
What is sarcasm? I've never heard of such a thing. A lady is never sarcastic, Professor.
A lady isn't, but you might be.
How dare you! I draw my scarf closer and look to the side in indignation.
Excuse me, sir. Some manners, please. This is a store for the community, please. None of this.
Thank you, sir. That's awfully kind of you.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Very welcome. Never insult a lady. That's my philosophy.
Rachel catches this second half of what's happened and just comes over and just pats Anna's arm and then walks off to go and find some food that looks like it might last for more than, outside of a fridge or something.
Can I go over to Rachel and just pull her to the side into a corner or something and pretend to look at womanly things like soap?
Very well, you can do that. While that is happening, I'm going to quickly jump to Artie, who I assume is all the way at the back of the store looking at the liquor.
Yep. Just browsing, seeing what'll be good for the next few days, if it's going to take that long.
There are some mighty strong liquors here. Some good scotch, some decent vodka, and even some home brewing moonshine. While you have a think about that, I'm going to jump to the lovely lady Rachel, who's looking at the vegetables, looking at the different produce. Most of it looks fresh enough that it could last a couple of days if kept in the right temperatures. If you don't stick it in the boot of the car, it might be alright, maybe in the back. Mainly with the current weather, it should last.
She's gonna be looking through things and be like, okay, apples are good. Carrots, people usually like carrots. She's a terrible cook, no idea what combines well, and is just grabbing anything that doesn't need heat as far as she's concerned, but she's not so sure about the broccoli, and so she decides to stick that in her basket as well anyway, and ends up with a rather random assortment. She considers the onions and then puts them back because she figures that those just might be a bit too much for people to eat raw.
Very well. Very well. As you put back the onion, the younger gentleman, roughly around 26, 27, reaches down and picks up a different onion. And kind of looks at you and gives you a very awkward smile, as if trying to impress you in some way, but not really pulling it off.
Hello. Do you know if broccoli's good raw?
Well, I mean, I feel like broccoli is like, it's a good vegetable, and I feel like it's good to boil, but I feel like it's a bad idea to eat it raw. I feel like...
Oh, thanks, man. You really saved me on that one. And she puts the broccoli back and just kind of attempts to stack it back in its place, but in doing so just accidentally, knocks one of the other pieces of broccoli off the pile, and it rolls away, and she runs off to go chase it and brings it back and puts it down. Yeah, thanks a ton.
I feel, yeah. And the man just kind of awkwardly turns away, slapping his forehead, as if, what a doofus I am. What a great first impression I've just made with that young lady.
You're right. Do you have a headache? I think they have stuff for headaches in here. I thought I saw some.
Yes, I feel like that's what it must be. Yes, I feel like it is. What I'm gonna get you to do is to perform a spot hidden once again. We're gonna use this in this case to see if you can tell his true intentions.
Oh, spot hidden. Oh dear. What? Okay, 23, and I had to get under 25, so pretty good.
This young man is clearly attracted to you and is trying to flirt in his own peculiar, odd way, and it's very clear he does not really know how to do it, as perhaps he's not really seen very many fine ladies in his parts.
So Rachel will just go over to him, pat him on his arm, and say, "That's all right. You'll do better next time." And she walks off to go find Anna.
I feel confused. I feel like I don't understand what just happened. We were talking about a headache, and she's talking about feeling better next time. I feel like I need to sort my life. And the boy heads back to the chocolates, very clearly distraught, ready to eat his feelings away. Ari, I'm gonna jump over to you at the back of the store. What would you like to do?
Well, I'd take a small bottle of moonshine, take it to the front, and I'm hoping that the cashier doesn't notice the bottle of scotch I've hidden under my trench coat.
Well, I feel like if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna need you to roll a hide.
Alright.
Base stat of 10%.
Criminals. Don't do crime, kids.
63.
And what is your percentage on that? Is it
Percentage on
hide?
40.
There's a fly in my room and it's very distracting. Sorry. 40. Well, and you rolled what, sir?
63.
You sadly fail at hiding the bottle. As you put the smaller bottle on the counter, the gentleman turns around. Aye, so that'll be $7. To you, you think he's talking about just the small bottle at first, and then he points to the one in your pocket, clearly referring to the fact that both together is a total of $7.
I give an awkward smile and just put $7 on the counter.
Oh, thank you, son. Thank you. Oh, would you like a jar of pickles? Free on the house.
Sure.
The man reaches up and takes down a jar of pickles, one of the smaller jars, and he slides us across to you. These are more like gherkins that you would find chopped up and put on a burger nowadays. And he's like, well, enjoy them. Homemade, in my back garden, and with my own homemade vinegar. Enjoy. They'll last you for weeks, they will.
Rachel pops up. Pickles! Good one! Yeah, Artie, I knew you were gonna be useful.
Excuse me?
Oh, right, can I get these?
How many would you like? We've got the small jars that I give away as samples sometimes if a purchase is over $5. Oh, you've got a basket of food there. How much is that? Let's see. That'll be about $6. So I can throw in a jar of pickles. I'll throw in 2. How's that?
Oh, thanks.
I've seen that awkward
that'd be
encounter
awesome.
with my nephew over there, my nephew Jimmy. Sorry about him. He's not right in the heat. Always talking about how he feels. Oh. Never just breathes, takes a minute, and says what he wants to say. 2 small jars, and that'll be $5.25 for the veg and fruit.
Thanks. Here.
The man takes the money, puts it in the till. You've gave him $6. He reaches in and goes to give you some change, realizing the mistake you've made. You've given me an extra $1. Would you like it back?
Oh, well, actually, I was wondering, have you heard anything about the fires on the mountain?
At this point, I'm gonna get you to do a very particular roll on your character sheet, and that is a credit check. Credit rating check. It is... Remember, your list is in alphabetical order.
$27, and I needed to get under 40.
The man seems to be impressed by the garments you're wearing and seems to get the feeling that you're a respectable lady, so he seems open to talking to you as he leans forward. Look, we don't really like talking to strangers about, the mountains. Some weird stuff goes on, There's been weird lights recently, that sort of thing. In terms of the fires, I don't know anything about the fires. Just anything I know about it, I've read in the Tatler,
Alright, do you happen to know where on the mountain these things have been spotted?
I mean, it seems close to the top. Tales of people going up and not coming back, It's one of those things where we all we just make sure to stay away, Better to avoid the hills, stick to the town, pass through, move on, sort of thing.
Gotcha.
The Tatler you're on about, do you have a copy of it or any in-depth information in the article?
Are you asking me if I've got a newspaper in a grocery store? Of course I do. Right there. And the man points to an entire pile stacked all the way up to the top of the counter of newspapers. You were too drunk to have noticed them coming in. As usual, Mr. Gumshoe.
Alright, well, keep the change and give the boy a chocolate bar because it seems like he could really use one, and we'll take one of those.
Very well. What I will say is just don't go up there.
Thanks.
And you take the newspaper, and he takes the money and he shouts back to Jimmy, "You can thank the fine woman the next time she's in for getting you your favorite chocolate bar. It's called a Feelings Bar, you fool." And he just kind of throws the cash at the counter and just shakes his head at his nephew. You take the newspaper. It's the same as the one that the woman put in front of you in the lodge earlier on this morning. So not very much information in it. Seems to be new. And I'm assuming you've already headed out the store.
Yes.
As you head out,
I hang back and buy a couple of things.
well, the others head out the store,
Mm-hmm.
and Anna remains back. And what would you like to buy?
I buy a hammer, a couple of nails, a screwdriver, a bottle of iodine, and bandages.
Very precise and very wise.
I know what I'm doing.
You take it up to the counter, and the gentleman is currently stacking pickles, not having noticed you arrived at the counter just yet. Oh, sorry, ma'am. Sorry. Are you? You look familiar. Are you for the say?
It's. I've just got that face, you know.
No, you're one of those entertainment types, aren't you? I think I've seen one of your shows.
You.
Right. This is going to cost you. So, is iodine? Could you repeat the items that you're buying, please?
Iodine, bandages, a hammer, nails, and a screwdriver.
Okay. All in there. That's going to cost you, let's say, about $12.
That's awfully kind of you. Yes. I rummage in my bag and take out some money and also a signed autograph.
Well.
Whoops! Clumsy me. This is for you. You can keep this, no problem.
First thing I'm gonna get you to do is roll me a credit rating.
Mm-hmm. I pass. I've got a 55 and I rolled a 37.
Very well. As you do that, the gentleman takes the signed photograph and he's like, "Do you know what? Make it an even 10. An even 10. Take a rest. Just take the nails."
Oh, no. Do keep it and give me a glass of your wonderful pickles instead. My mother would love those.
Do you know what? Take the nails for free and take a big jar of pickles. How's that?
Oh, you're such a fine gentleman. What is your name so I can tell every one of my friends about you?
My name is Bob. Robert. Bob for short.
Robert. I prefer Robert. It makes you look and sound so much more distinguished.
I mean, my wife always just calls me Bob. Bob the bastard. But okay, I'll tell her that the Anna Vixen said that I should be called Robert, and she should start calling me Robert.
Good for you, sir. Good for you, Robert.
Cheers, Anna. Oh.
I head out. I head out and roll my eyes.
As you begin to walk away, you can hear him shout to his nephew at the back of the store about how amazing of a moment that was and how he almost blew it for his uncle. How he almost embarrassed him in front of his favorite performer of the big city. And as you exit rolling your eyes, the little bell chimes as the door closes. The other three have been outside for a few minutes. We'll quickly see if they wanted to talk about anything in that time for you to intrude on the conversation.
Well, just I put everything in my bag so that nobody sees it. Except for the pickles. I carry the pickles.
Of course. So, others, what would you like to do?
I think it would be wise for us to seek out this police station. However, I'm not quite sure of the local geography, so maybe for someone who's a bit more knowledgeable, we'd have direct us on our way.
Sounds good to me.
While that conversation's happening, Anna Vixen steps out to you saying, "That sounds good to me."
I just...
Hey, Anna.
I just joined the group and just wait for someone to go somewhere so I can follow.
Okay, so we shall try to find the police station. Should we maybe find someone to ask?
There's plenty of people walking about the streets, if one of you would like to try.
Is there anyone that looks like a police officer?
There is not. No. That is a
you go.
very
There-
nice try.
It's a good idea, though.
Professor.
There
This
goes.
is why
There
you were
goes.
a professor.
There goes my first attempt at it. Let's go with the riffraff then. I'm acting really mean. I don't know why. I've just started doing that. I'm gonna stick with it.
What happened to your
So,
accent,
Professor,
Professor?
which of the fine people of the streets of Jennings would you like to approach? There are all genders and sizes here.
Hey, Missy. Can you point us towards the police station, please?
I would like you to roll a credit rating check, please. I'm sure this will be very, very well.
82.
That is a terrible roll. Credit rating is probably 15%, correct?
Wait, what?
What is your credit rating stat on the character sheet?
Oh, right. Oh, crap.
Because remember, in this game you have to roll your stat or under.
Oh, right. It's 15.
And you rolled 82.
Okay.
The woman looks at you, and then struts away in the other direction, almost shooing at you slightly like a rabid dog or some sort of animal that's trying to approach her. People in the street seem to slightly now curve away from your group.
I tried. I'm already is.
Maybe it's wise to not look like a feral hound. I shall, we'll walk away from this area a small amount, to sort of general towards the centre of town, most over than where we are, and I will find someone else to ask.
As you walk away, you find yourself you walk along for about 5-10 minutes and find yourself in a quite an open space. This probably is like some sort of town center, large meeting point if they ever want to have a large outdoor meeting or venue. And there's plenty of people crossing the town, taking things home or dropping things off to loved ones.
Any sort of reputable-looking adults, preferably?
There's a fine few. There's some gentlemen who seem to be over by the fountain in the center, in suits. They look like they're possibly on break from work or just about to head in. And some others, some women crossing down the street heading somewhere.
The gentleman by the fountain seemed like a safe bet, so I shall head over to them. Excuse me, sirs, if you don't mind me intruding. I'm looking for the local police station. If that is something you can direct me towards, that'd be much appreciated.
The first thing I'm going to ask for you to do is roll me a credit rating check, please.
I'm good at that. I've got a 75.
Oh my god.
This will be where my hubris shoots me in the foot. That
97.
does it though, because I got a 17.
The two gentlemen look at you and they can tell that you seem to be a intellectual man from the way that you hold yourself. What was the question? Where's the police station?
Yes, if you'd be so kind as to guide me in the right direction.
I mean, there's not really a police station. There's like town hall, a constabulary. That's really about it. We don't really have police here because there's no crime here. The other one laughs awkwardly as well.
Well, that's wonderful. Could you put me in the direction of that then?
I mean, it's just back up the street. It's just up there.
Well, thank you very much, my good man.
I mean, before you go, you look like you're Itchen. Who are you?
Yes, I'm Professor William Davis Stock. You probably haven't heard of me. I just study European history.
Is that what that stupid voice is that you've got there?
Yes, I am from England, if you couldn't tell.
England. Guys for England. And they both kind of chuckle as they walk away, saying, "Aye, it's just up that way."
Right, thank you very much, my good sirs. I shall return to the group with this knowledge and point us in the right direction.
Very well, you do so, and you arrive with the group. I assume you all head in that direction that they pointed in.
On the way, I would quite like to bring up the point where they say that there's no crime here, then awkwardly chuckle. That does sound a bit suspicious.
So everyone is aware of that fact now as you find yourself heading further up the street, kind of closer to where you've parked the car. Just a street or two up from where it is parked, you find the constabulary. It's a small building, but very possibly it contains more than just any offices related to the police force, so it looks more like it's there for all governmental purposes, or yeah, from the outside it's a small building.
Well, I think it'd be wise to have Artie show us in. You have some form of official recognition or badge or something, I'm assuming.
No worry, I got this. I stroll into the front door and see the nearest receptionist or the person in charge.
Hi there, how can I help? As you enter, there is a round circular desk with a wall of glass behind her, with half glass, half wooden. On it says Windham County Constabulary, with Jennings written underneath.
Hey, Jennings. Going up the mountain. Can I have some ammunition, please?
Some ammunition? I mean, that's not really a thing that we can do, or I can do. Like, you would need to go in and speak to the security in the back. Like, do you have some sort of ID or license on you for me to authorize that, or get someone to come through and show you where to go?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. I go into my inside pocket of my trench coat and pull out my private investigator ID.
Okay, very well. Just let me go get someone. And who are these? Are they with you, or?
They're associates of mine.
Very well. Excuse me. The woman jumps off her chair and then suddenly disappears behind the counter as she walks round, very clearly being shorter than the desk. A very short woman of about 4'5". As she walks through, reaches up to the handle and heads into the next room, closing it behind her. She has disappeared for several minutes. You begin to wonder if she's actually gonna ever come back when the door opens. Okay, come on through.
So since Rachel has a revolver, would she also automatically have ammunition with her, or a license to carry or buy that?
I would say that all of you probably have some sort of license to carry arms and to buy munitions. Yes.
Besides, nobody really cares.
I was about to say, like, America needing gun licenses? What's up with that?
Also America in 1920.
So, what would you like to do?
Well, if we're going back through, I think that'd be the first step.
As you head back through, you can see that this is the main offices of the county sheriffs. There's some deputies working away, doing some stuff. There is a board with a picture of Bartley Hodges, with a picture of his home up there also. And some fine string connecting the two, a connection to the newspaper articles that you have all read and saw in reference to the fires of the hill. They seem to have put a cross through the picture of the hill. As you head round to the back and meet a gentleman who's standing at a gun range, a locked cage filled with guns. How can I help? What are you after?
Hey, just heading up the mountain. It'd be a good idea to have spare ammunition, just in case.
Just in case. Heading up the... What you expecting to find up there? I mean, I'll sell you ammunition, but Up the mountain? You're not going to shoot these fine folk? No, but seriously, you're not going to shoot these fine folk, are you?
Hopefully it won't come down to that.
I push my way forward and I say, "Excuse me, sir. Do you know who you're talking to? This is Artie Gumshoe. He's been issued a special,
I'm
permission.
gonna have you roll fast talk.
That's a 1.
Now, when you start trying to charm this gentleman in the way that you are, or persuade this gentleman, it's very clear that he's offended and affronted by your attempts. However, the information that you're saying is relevant to the situation, so he doesn't exactly tone it down, he just repeats his point of, what would you like? Let's get this over and done with, shall we?
Oh, I'll let you all first.
Alright. I guess I'd like 5 rounds for a revolver.
I'll get that. The rest of you?
So I take out of my handbag a very, very tiny gun, and I sort of hand it over to the guy. Have you got anything for this one?
I'm sure I can find something. Give me a minute. Other two. Once I go back, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to do 2 runs.
Ladies first.
Well, I've gotten low, so a box of 38mm bullets, please.
Very well.
And just out of curiosity, I wouldn't suppose you have anything for the old relic I carry around with me. Sort of reaches under his blazer, pulls out this long, barreled, like shitty World War I pistol.
Relic? Did you fight in the war, sir?
Unfortunately, but I have managed to keep this at hand, just in case.
He reaches out his hand to shake yours, and then
I shall shake it.
reaches round to his back and pulls out a similar pistol. Brothers in arms.
Indeed.
Got plenty of rounds for you, sir.
That would be wonderful. I shall put it back into its holster.
The man goes round back and comes out with plenty of boxes of bullets for all of you, and says that it's going to cost you around $50 for all of it. However, because you have the professor with you, who shares his past, shall we say, gives you a discount of $25. I'll give you to them at cost, right? $25.
It's very kind of you, sir.
Yeah.
I shall reach into my seemingly endless coffers and hand over some money for him.
Before you go anywhere, why are you in town? I need to ask, because they're going to ask you if they see you walk out of here with this amount of ammo.
Yes, we were looking for possibly claiming for reward for one Bartley Hodges. Apparently he's gone missing.
Bartley Hodges?
I think
You
that's
talk
the
about
name.
the newspaper guy?
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, they're all working on it. I mean, if you are looking for the reward, maybe speak to them. Just saying they might have
Speaking
some
of them
info.
might be wise.
Aye. Well, it was an honour. Not so much. And, ma'am, I never really interacted with you, so sorry that you were caught in the middle of that. And at that point, the man hands you over the ammo and takes the cash and heads back into the cage, locking it once more.
I think we should maybe inquire with the local detectives. I'll leave that to Artie.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. We may also want to try to find a map of the area before heading up the mountain.
As you head back out, you find the detectives sitting around just chatting away and laughing about a fellow called Jimmy, who's a bit of a fool in the town. He's known for being a bit of a wimp and always talking about his feelings, and yeah, they're just kind of finishing the joking. Oh man, can't you believe he struck it like that? What a fool. And that's when you guys arrive at the table.
Do we see the board on the wall with the information on the Hodges case?
You do. The only thing that would really be new to you would be the fact that underneath the picture of his house, which looks fairly impressive for the area, has the address written underneath.
I walk past the board and make a point of sort of becoming very, very emotional because my good friend is missing and memorizing the address.
For that, I would need you to roll some sort of persuasion or spot hidden check, please.
Okay. I'm gonna go for persuasion. That is a 4.
You suddenly burst out in puddles of tears around you.
Oh, Bartley!
Everyone in this building has turned their attention to you, and only you, as you let out a cry about Bartley. The 3 gentlemen standing next to the board make their way over to you. The first one, putting his hands on your shoulder, saying, "Mate, are you all right? Did you know Bartley?"
Rachel will step in and go, she just needs a minute. This is very difficult for her.
Oh, of course. Give her room, step back.
I lean onto Rachel's shoulder and allow myself to be comforted. And whisper in her ear, "Thanks, mate."
While you do this, in the back, everyone has their backs to the 2 gentlemen at the current moment, and the board is just beside the police officers.
I'll take this time to take a look at the board and inspect it closely.
Very well. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just in general?
Anything out of the ordinary that sounds unusual.
In that case, I will get you to roll a spot hidden, please.
Okay, spot hidden 25, and I've just rolled a 14.
Your first successful moment of the evening. As you begin to quickly scan this board, you see all the information you already know. That there's been fires in the hills, some strange lights, that Artie worked for the Tattler. But you also see that they've put notes next to the fires on the hills and saying, "Seems irrelevant, just seems like kids being kids. Nothing to do with this case. No point in investigating further." Next to his house, they've put notes of nothing found. We weren't perhaps needn't revisit it. And you also see the name of George Tattler written next to the newspaper articles, who is the CEO of the Tattler newspaper. And it seems to say, man said the one who put out the reward, desperate to find his old colleague and friend. From that, I'll go back to the ladies. Oh, stay back. Just give her some room. Give her room. Are you... Ma'am, does she know him? They are addressing you, Rachel.
Oh,
at this point.
yes. He was a friend of hers, so she's rather, well, you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable. When somebody goes missing, it's very traumatic. However, we have our best people on the case. All 3 of us were on it. We've been working it non-stop since we made it official that he disappeared a day and a half ago. So we are working on it as best we can. He will be found. If you know anything, if she knows anything, it would be good if she can come talk to us. I mean, we could go get her a glass of water.
Oh, well, she hasn't seen him in a little bit of time, so I don't know that she'd know anything. Have you been checking the woods?
Checking the woods? I mean, we're organising a search. We're not quite at that yet. We think he might have just skipped town, if we're totally honest, but we are treating it like a missing persons for the moment.
All right, well, as long as you're doing your best, and Rachel will turn and pat Anna again and just comfort her.
As we're standing so close together, I sort of in a half whisper, in a very low voice, tell Rachel, those guys are clearly morons. If we want to get anything done around here, we're going to have to do the dirty work.
For that, I'm going to have to get you to roll hide. Unless there's another role that you can find that's more appropriate.
I
I
mean, how about conceal?
That's the one. Go with that. That's better.
That is a 29, and my percentage is 45. Don't let them know.
So
They'll never know. Sorry.
Exactly. They'll never know as you whisper.
'Cause I
to
roll.
Rachel.
Yes, I roll. Anyway.
At that point,
Sorry.
You get away with that. I'm going to turn to Professor Stark and see if you would like to do anything.
I'm actually quite alright at the moment. I think they've got the situation handled.
Very well. If anybody would like to do anything, now is the chance. That one of the gentlemen, the police officers, has ran off to try and get some sort of beverage for Anna to hopefully calm her nerves and get some information from her. One of the other ones turns around seeing Ari next to the board. Oh, excuse me. Do you know Bartley as well?
Not personally. I do know of him. To be honest, I'm kind of doing this for my own self-interest.
Doing what exactly?
I'm a PI. I solve cases, and I do it so I can get money.
Who let you back here? You're meant to make an appointment to speak to an officer and look at their evidence. You're aware of that, right? You must be aware of that as a PI. So
these things slip my mind. We're all human.
For that, I'm gonna have you roll a persuade or fast talk.
I would like to roll for fast talk, persuade. Okay, fast talk. Uh, 27.
Would that be a pass based off your fast talk statistic?
Yeah. Fast talk is 55.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
That's fair. I guess things slip my mind too. So how can I help you? What information are you after here specifically?
Well, I want to know. I overheard you say that you think he skipped town, but not went into the. You haven't had a search party into the woods just yet.
We're in the process of organising that. I mean, the woods are quite thin here. Just at the base of the hills, there's nothing much there. We should have it organised for tomorrow afternoon.
Well, we're investigating, so I think we could do it.
I mean, that's great and all, but we need a wee bit more people to make it happen. So we need at least 20 people, and there's only 7 here. So, yeah. But we'll give you a shout tomorrow noon. We're meeting in the centre at the fountain, and we're all going to head up to the woods together and scan the area. So, have you found any information since arriving in town that could help the case?
Nothing that I think be of any use at the moment.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, as you can see, we've got a distraught witness over here or connection to the missing party. So if it's all right, I'm going to need to ask you gentlemen to leave, unless there's any more business you want to deal with just now.
No worries. I'll leave you be.
We'll go fetch the car, Artie.
Very well. The two of you head off to go and collect the car and bring it round. I am perhaps sharing some information with each other. I'm going to turn attention back to the ladies as an officer comes back with a glass of water. Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you so much.
I put some ice in it as well. Here, take a seat. And would you like a seat as well? And they pull over a chair for you as well, Rachel, if you'd like to sit down.
Rachel will take the seat. Thanks.
One of the officers leans against the board. One of them sits on the corner of a desk across from where you have sat, and the last one kind of stands next to at the opposite side of the one who's sitting on the desk. This gentleman is the one who got you the water. So I know it's a lot to process what's happened, but we need you to tell us, how do you know Mr. Hodges?
Well, I know him from the city. He interviewed me once or twice, maybe.
And if you don't mind me asking, why was that?
Well, he wanted to run an article about me.
The gentlemen look at each other in confusion, not entirely sure.
Okay, so we met at a, well, I suppose you could call it a club, maybe. And, well, he heard me sing and he really liked it, and he thought he'd interview me and maybe run an article about me and maybe make me, famous. And that's how we met. And we met a couple of times and we talked a lot. He never really told me that much about him. And then he asked me whether I would come out here and maybe meet him at his house, and then I didn't hear from him in 2 weeks. And then, I don't know, we met this private investigator, and he said he could help, and he's out there now. He's really good. He's one of the most famous investigators in the whole city.
So was the article going to be on the club?
No, it was supposed to be on me.
Why on you, if you don't mind me? Specifically, why you?
Well, because I'm fucking good, okay?
The gentleman seemed very taken aback by the change in tone from you there, and seemed to pull back, and the one sitting on the desk...
I'm sorry, I'm just so confused and overwhelmed by all of this.
Ma'am, I understand that this is stressful, but when we ask questions, we need concise answers. When you say about you because you're good, that could mean good at anything, and we don't want to make any assumptions and accidentally imply anything, which we wouldn't dare. So
of course you wouldn't. You're only trying to do your job. I'm so sorry. Well, singing, and I worked in 1 or 2 films, and there's this project coming up that I'm going to. So
it was performance based, right? That's interesting, because get that on the board. Add the city to the board. That it could be in the city. We'll phone the city and get them looking for him as well, because maybe he's there. That would make sense if he was looking to do an article on you for some reason to do with your acting. I'm sure you are a fantastic performer. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah. At this point, Rachel, I'm gonna have you perform a spot hidden check, please.
Oh, okay. Right. That is a fail.
As the gentleman on the desk stood up, you notice him shuffle some files behind him. That's about all you notice. Not intentionally, more just knocked them as he stood up. On the board, the one who stood up and the one standing next to it are getting materials together and writing notes on what you've said, and preparing to seem to be shifting their focus from him disappearing in town to the fact that he's probably disappeared in the city. to them, the information you've given them seems to be the biggest clue that they've got.
Rachel's gonna lean over to Anna and just go, "Oh, that's a bit... They seem a bit desperate, don't they?"
I will remind you that just sitting in front of you was standing in front of you is the gentleman who got the glass of water. Just so you know,
never mind then.
Three of them, just in case.
In that case, Rachel is just going to pat Anna's shoulder again and attempt to... Is there anyone watching the stack of files at the moment, looking that direction?
Well, the gentleman, this gentleman is standing in front of you right now, so he would notice if you went for them because they're just to his left.
All right.
What he does is he addresses you both before anything happens here. If you're staying locally, how about this? How about you head back, you get some fresh air, and maybe come back and talk to us tomorrow. We're going to do a little hunt through the woods and see if we can find them. We're looking at 12 o'clock tomorrow, meeting at the water fountain. How about you head back to wherever you're staying, and come talk to us again tomorrow when you're feeling a little bit better. How is that? And the gentleman offers his arm, turning his back to the table.
All right.
I take the arm and sort of force him to steer me back towards the front desk.
And Rachel will really quickly then try to glance at those files that were shifted, just to see if there's anything on the desk that pops out.
For that, I will give you the choice of rolling sneak or spot hidden.
I will go with sneak.
Very well.
91. That's a fail.
You very obviously pick up the files and begin to read it, and the sound of paper shuffling behind him draws his attention round. Oh, wait, what are you doing? The man snatches the file from you and is like, what are you doing? This is confidential.
Oh, sorry. I just, trying to help.
The one thing that you do notice is this seems to be the only other case file in this entire room. Fair enough, but we prefer it if you don't just start reading files, like ask. And also, have a
Can I read
license.
that?
No.
Oh.
And he puts it on the desk
Okay.
behind him. If you'd like to head out, and he kind of points for you to head out in front of him so that he can keep an eye on both of you as you exit.
Well, Rachel will just walk right out those doors then.
As you head out of the door and head out reception, the lady at reception gives you a little wave goodbye, and the officer just watches as you leave and closes the door behind him. You head outside, and just pulling up on time is Audie and the professor. And I feel like before you all interact here and share your information, this is the perfect time for us to take a break. A time for us to catch our breath and think about what we've learned so far and prepare ourselves for the chaos that may possibly be waiting in the second half. And we return to the case at hand, to the simulation that we have been running this evening. Our 4 investigators are in Jennings, Vermont, New England. They are investigating the case of Bartley Hodges and his disappearance. The police seem to think it is a disappearance and that he is probably missing in the city due to his connection with Anna Vixen. They have discovered the address of his home and have all got in Professor William Davis Stark's car and decided to head out to his home. As they drive along the winding roads out of the town center, kind of closer towards the hills, but not too close, they discuss what they know so far, but just before they arrive.
Well, you two ladies were in with the evidence longer. Anything you've gathered?
There's definitely me something
They just
that
ask
we're
us
not.
questions.
And there's some kind of file on the desk that I couldn't really get a look at because they didn't want me to look at it, and I tried to look at it, and then they were like, you have to ask to look at it, and then I tried to ask to look at it, but then they said no. Yeah.
Come to think of it, they asked me where I knew Bartley from, but they didn't even ask for my name. They're clearly idiots.
Very professional. I mean, they might not even be professional. Anyway, can you help me with directions to this man's house? And then as we drive to the house.
Yeah. As you wind along the roads, you find yourself pulling up to a fairly nice house, bigger than the rest that you've seen in town. It's 3 stories high. The kind of thing you would expect to see in the white picket fence ideology. However, all the trees in the area seem to be dead. The house looks not too well kept, other than the fact that it's big, grand, and was once probably the staple of this town, where the richest of the rich would have lived, but now it looks more like it was bought in some sort of bargain deal.
Does it look like there's anyone home?
It does not, no.
I suppose someone should try the door.
As you,
Right.
with the car parked up just a couple of feet away from the front door, you all head over, finding the door to be locked, as you would expect from someone not being in the house.
Rachel's just gonna turn to everyone and go, I got this, and just knock really loudly. Hello? Anyone home?
As you do
Hello?
so, the knocks echo through the house, followed by the ringing of your hellos. As your voice echoes and carries through the house, suddenly you hear a sound of a flock of birds shimmering away into the sky from behind the house. As your voice is carried for several miles, it feels like you are in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I think there might be nobody home.
I would like to go around the house and look for a back door.
Very well.
Or the entrance to a cellar or something like that.
As you make your way around the house, you see inside it looks fairly messy, not well kept. Some knickknacks and pictures and the such. You pass a library on the ground floor. As you find yourself round to the back, you find the door is also locked.
Any open windows?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll roll for locksmith.
Very well.
Pardon me.
Okay, so that's 29, and my character sheet is 40.
As you lean over quickly, taking out your lockpicks without really showing it off to anyone. With a few clicks there and a few clicks then, the door creaks open as you hear the final bolt unlock.
I'll walk into the main hallway, examining generally.
As you walk in, on your right, the first thing you notice is the stairs heading up, and the stairs lead all the way up to the 3rd floor. On the left, there's a large library or reading room, and through to the back, there's some sort of kitchen / access to the backyard where you can see Anna at the door trying to look through the glass.
As I see them opening the front door, I head back round and go into the library.
Very well. What would the others like to do before you get back?
I think going... just go to the library as well to investigate.
I guess we're all going in there then.
Before heading in, Rachel will just take a quick look, scan around the grounds to see if anything looks out of place just from there.
Roll a spot hidden, please.
Oh. That's Nope.
You look around
62.
and you see your car is parked very close. And you think to yourself, that's dangerous. That could roll down that little slope and crash into that tree. That's the only thing you really notice.
Hey, Professor. And she's
yes?
gonna follow and walk in. Nice job on the parking there. Do you have extra brakes or anything? Because, gravity.
I think it'll be fine. So,
All right.
you worry. No, we'll do this and then I'll check it. So, library. Can I have a snoop around for any books on the occult or anything of a similar nature? Anything that would look out of place in a sort of reputable man's home?
You may. For something like that, I would need you to roll a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Could I use library use?
I will allow it, yes. And the other thing I will suggest is you move your audio device a little closer to your face.
I shall do so. So I've got 75 library use, so I'll roll my dice. 94.
Oh no.
So that's a no.
As you begin looking around, you find yourself confused by the books that this man has in his library. Everything seems to be just on cars and things that don't really make any sense to you in any capacity. And there's even a book about European history called The Dumb History of Europeans.
I'm highly offended by the existence of this book and shall go correct where my car is parked.
Very well, very well. As you go and do that, Anna passes you at the front door. And I'm assuming, Rachel, you would like to head into the library also?
Yeah, and she'll go. Is there a table anywhere or?
There is. So inside the library, the three that are in there will notice that there's a leather chair sitting beside a fireplace that has a small reading table. There's also a cabinet to the left that seems made with a glass pane over it, like a writing desk, and it's got several drawers on it. And that is pretty much the majority of the room. There's one big long table in the center that just has books sitting on it and some newspaper articles.
I would like to find the last thing he was working on
I will get you
in his
to roll
room. So, yeah.
Where would you like to look specifically to see if you can find that?
I'd probably try the writing desk first.
Very well. Roll me a spot hidden, please.
No.
You find yourself unable to even access the writing desk as it seems to be the drawers are all locked. The glass case opens up. All that is sitting there is his typewriter that seems to have had the page recently tore out of it. As for the other two, what would you like to do, Artie and Rachel?
Rachel will go and check if there are any waste paper baskets or anything like that, just to go see if she can find anything that's been recently worked on, discarded, that kind of thing.
There's a waste basket beside the desk, and inside it there's some stuff about the files. It looks like redrafts of what he had written for those articles, but nothing that you wouldn't already be aware of.
All right.
All dated.
Sorry, guys.
It's all dated at least a week before his disappearance. Artie,
Oh.
would you like to do anything?
I'd like to scan the room and just see if I could find anything out of the ordinary that looks like it's been recently shuffled or out of place.
Roll me a spot hidden also.
Spot hidden. 53. Spot hidden. Wait, the spot hidden?
Spot hidden.
Oh, okay, yeah. 25.
So, and you rolled 53.
Yeah.
You find yourself just clambering around. The only thing you find is one cupboard that was hidden away behind the chair. Inside it is a bottle of very fine scotch. That is all you can find.
Well, I'll take that and just put that in my pocket.
Does
Safety.
Rachel see that?
I would say so. He's made no attempt to conceal his actions. And
Okay, she's
Professor,
just
you've
gonna-
parked the car by this point. You can return when you wish.
What were the other rooms on the ground floor?
Just one second, Rachel. What you were saying?
She's just gonna turn to Artie and go, "Okay, I'm fine with breaking and entering, but I draw the line at thieving." And just go up to him and try to get him to put the bottle back.
While this argument is taking place, Professor, what would you like to do?
What other rooms are there on the ground floor?
There's the reading room on the left. Straight ahead as you walk in would be what looks like some sort of kitchen that leads onto the backyard. And then to the right there looks to be some sort of under-stairs cupboard that might lead somewhere.
I shall poke my head in there then.
When you open it up, you find yourself opening up a linen closet. There's baskets of dirty clothes. It's almost like this man hadn't washed his clothes in some time.
Area of culture. Can I have just a quick snoop around, avoiding the dirty clothes best I can, see if there's anything sort of tucked away in here that might be of note?
You may. Roll me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Cool. Got to get less than a 40. That would be 30 on the money, so...
As you search around, you think, I don't really want to touch these clothes, but you do, and in one of the pockets you find a note. It reads, Harry Roger. It has an address and it says, just at the base of the hills. The handwriting doesn't really match anything else that you've seen handwritten by Bartley Hodges. However, there is an address on the piece of paper and the name Harry Roger.
Interesting. I shall take the slip and I shall return to the group who are in the sort of main room. I was having a little dig there. I found a note here. Doesn't seem to be written by the man we're after, but it's about a man called Harry Roger. I'm assuming it might have been written by him. With an address. Might be worth having a quick check.
Yeah, it seems like he hasn't worked on any writing in over a week. The last things that I could find were all about the fires, so I think he's been under some pressure.
David, is it possible for me to sort of ascertain how old this slip of paper is? I'm assuming it's recent.
The piece of paper would roughly be... you could give me a roll of some kind. Let's...
What role would be appropriate for that?
I feel like this is one for archaeology. Why not?
Cool. I put extra points in archaeology. Ooh, wonderful. Still rolled over it, however, so that'll not be a success.
You have no idea. Ari, I'd like you to roll a listen check right now. A listen check, Detective Gumshoe.
69.
Hilariously not moving when I asked. 69. What is does that succeed or fail your stat on the character sheet?
What was it I'm rolling for?
Listen.
Oh, alright. 25.
Very well. You're too busy debating whether or not to put the liquor back and just keep it in your pocket. At this point, I'd like to see if anyone else would like to do anything.
I'd like to go upstairs, please.
As you're heading to the doorway, suddenly the chandelier in this room drops from the ceiling, smashing into 1,000 shards flying everywhere. I'd like everybody to roll a dodge, please.
Dodge.
Oh.
Oh, man.
That is an awful failure.
Oh, no.
Oh, hey, that's pretty good, I think. You've got to be kidding me!
Okay.
I rolled 29 and I have 28 for dodge.
I rolled a 90.
Everyone noping out.
I got a wonderful 85.
Everyone is hit with shards of glass. Those in the room, mainly in the room, will receive 4 points of damage as glass slices into them. Loads
That's
of glass.
almost half of...
Yes. Anna, you will only take 2 damage from the glass as it pierces your back, the back of your leg. At which point you hear the sounds of some sort of insect circling along the ceiling. When you look up, you see some sort of strange bat creature with its wings that look like the flesh of skin. It is the size of a person. It is skittering and jittering, and this, my friends, will also be your first sanity check of the evening. All of you roll a D100.
Jesus Christ, the fuck is this thing? Are we trying to roll? We're trying to roll under our current sanity points.
Correct.
Good, I did so.
I did so as well.
59.
Oh, that's bad though, because my sanity points are low. But I'm okay this time. I have 18.
Everyone,
I hate massive termites.
everyone who rolled under, I will have you roll what is called a D2. Please take your D4, roll it half the number, and round up if you must.
Dig for a D4.
Anyone who failed the check, in the range of 50 to 60, who actually failed the check, actually? And what did you get? Artie, we'll start with you. What did you get for your sanity check?
Now I rolled 59 and I have 60 for sanity.
So you will take a D2 of damage to your sanity.
Okay.
Let's roll the D4 in half.
Oh, I got a 1 in...
Well, then you take 1 damage as you round up.
Alright.
Rachel,
I'm down to 63 because I passed the check, but then I rolled and I had 3, so.
Anna, how about you?
I have 75, I rolled a 38, and then I rolled a 3, so I take 2 points of damage, so I'm down to 73.
Correct. You all are shaken to your core, having never seen a creature quite like this. It moves erratically and unlike anything you've ever seen in the laws of nature. It suddenly swoops down from the ceiling. In the way that this simulation works, combat works and any person can jump in and take a turn. So if you have a thought, an action you want to do, jump in as I describe. Cut me off. It drops from the ceiling, hurtling towards the ground as it suddenly flaps open its wings, catching itself, and flying a circle around you, finding its first target.
Rachel is
Jump
going
in
to...
and with a gun. I have a gun,
Yeah.
and I point it at... I'm ready to shoot. I'm gonna shoot. Should I roll for shooting?
You should. If you're gonna fire the gun, let's see what you get.
Okay. I'm at... Okay, 93. Yeah, 93.
That sounds like it's probably failed if you...
Yeah.
You fire and blast just flying bullets hitting the ceiling as the thing was about to fly at the professor, suddenly swirling back upwards towards the ceiling in fear of almost being hit.
Hearing the gunshot, the old instincts will kick in. I'll pull out my pistol and take a shot at it.
Give us a roll for that, Professor.
41. My skill is 40. So,
Roll the appropriate damage. Oh no, you failed.
oh, skill's 40, just by 1.
It just misses the creature, sending it. Now it lands on the ceiling and its head spins 360 degrees as if trying to understand the entire geometry of the room, understand your exact positions in it, trying to find its exit.
Would Rachel have any idea what this is
I will.
based on her obsession with chasing after weird rumors and stories?
I will allow you to roll an occult check.
All right. That is a pass.
You wouldn't know exactly what this thing is, but you've heard rumors of there being creatures similar to this that have the flesh of humanoid flesh but are not humanoid. You know that the best way to kill it is probably with fire.
Okay. Hey, anyone have a lighter? I'm pretty sure that these guys don't like fire.
There are not many things that do.
Well, this one hates it more than usual.
As you say this, the creature suddenly swoops down and it is gonna go for an attack on Anna Vixen at the door, who is the one currently blocking its exit.
Wait,
Anna, you're allowed to roll a dodge.
alright, wait, after this.
Can I just stretch out my hand with my knife instead?
You may. I will warn you that this thing is moving pretty fast. But you may.
Okay.
So it'll get stabbed extra hard.
On you go.
Yep, that's a pass. Because I rolled a 15 and my skill is 25.
Very well. What is the appropriate damage for the
1d4 plus db, but I don't know what db is.
damage bonus? If you don't know what your DB is, it's fine. 1d4, would you like to roll the damage for that?
3.
And then, because it's your knife, let's add your strength at the top of the page.
8.
8. So that is 8 plus 3, that is 11. You stab this thing square in the head as it's about to barge you. It still pushes you off your feet, keeping your knife in its head as it flies out into the rest of the house. And as you hit the floor, you're going to hit your head, taking 1d4 of damage. I will allow you to roll the damage. Take. As your head hits the floor, you feel it crack open and some blood pouring out the back.
I start screaming my most dramatic scream.
Roll me some sort of performance check if there is one.
How about art, acting?
I feel like that's appropriate.
That is a 40, which is a pass by a mile.
The creature, as it's about to fly up the stairs, suddenly falls to the floor and starts wriggling and riling as its bones almost seem to flick in its position, almost phasing out of time with where it is. And it lets out a horrible screeching sound that pierces your ears.
Hold on, the creature or me?
The creature.
Yes.
I know.
And I am gonna have all of you roll conceal to conceal your ears just now.
Okay.
I will warn you that you must roll not only successfully on your check, but successfully against mine.
33.
16.
3.
Anyone who rolled under 36 is safe.
Damn it!
What did you roll, Anna?
43.
What is your conceal?
45.
You will only take a D2 of damage, which may still be enough to make you unconscious.
Not quite.
As this thing begins to scream, you find your eardrum vibrating. You feel your whole head shaking as suddenly your eardrum pops as blood just shoots out the side and pours down your face. This is a sight unlike anything any of you have ever seen. This thing reveling and writhing on the floor. Your acquaintance ears exploding to the sound of its screams. Once again,
Rach.
everyone other than Anna perform a sanity check.
Good, I made it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Very well. Rachel, what would you like to do?
Run over, because Anna's just at the doorway, right?
Correct. And the creature is a few feet away inside the main hallway.
Alright, and just
I've sort of smashed into the stairway.
try to kind of just grab Anna and pull her inside and shut the door.
Very well. Give me a roll that feels appropriate for that. If you have one in mind, please suggest.
I don't know.
Feel like that would be a.
Not first aid, but
I feel like that would be a grapple if you have that on your character sheets. I'm not too sure if you do.
I don't have that on here.
If you don't, perhaps you have martial arts wouldn't
What
quite
a-
be correct.
What about hide?
I feel like hide doesn't really take in. Use climb.
I also don't think I have climb.
Climb is on the sheet. It's just under biology, chemistry, climb. It's just above conceal.
I don't have it. I have biology and then conceal.
Well, in this case, roll me a hide check.
Oh, okay. That is a pass. Barely, but it's a pass.
As you just grab Anna in time as the creature bounces off the staircase, smashing in all the pillars holding up the railing, and it shatters parts of the stairs just behind you as you throw her into the room, diving in behind her as the creature suddenly then flops towards you. Doors shut.
Alright, do either of you guys have a lighter? And she'll direct that towards Artie and...
Have we gun?
Well, yeah.
Could we just have a lighter, or do we have to?
I would say if you think your character is a smoker, you probably have matches.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. One of us would.
That would be.
You'd probably smoke a pipe.
Yeah, the pipe seems appropriate for example my character. Yeah, so I'll probably have matches or something. That'll do. And he's got booze, so we can pour the booze on it. It's flammable.
Alright, and so Rachel's going to try to start a fire using the papers in the basket and just turn that into a little...
How about we try and put the fire on the thing and not burn the whole house down with us?
Yeah, so I was thinking we could, light the fire in the basket and then
The creature
check it.
bashes against the door. Is anyone holding it?
Artie, you and me get the door. I'll chuck the match back to Rachel and
If
all.
no one's holding the door right now, the door is going to open. I need an answer. 3,
I'm
2.
gonna slam my
Yes.
body against the door to keep it shut.
Very well. I'm going to have you roll. I mean, I don't really know what your character sheet has on it. Physics, maybe.
I feel something physical would be appropriate.
It would be, but the problem is apparently you don't have climb or any of the physical stats that I have on this character sheet in front
I
of
have
me.
jump. That's
Let's use
about
jump.
the only
That's
physical
probably
thing.
only yeah. I'll allow jump. Jump feels appropriate. Artie?
He's like, oh no, I have a 0-1.
I'm looking about the investigator. I'm not sure if jump is okay. Yeah, jump is. I've just rolled a 43. My jump's 25.
As you dive towards the door, you're too late. You just hit the ground as the creature bursts in and flies above.
Can I attempt to shoot it once more? Just try and get it in its wing.
You can give it a go, certainly.
And Rachel's just going to be working on the fire. in the basket.
Very well.
Ooh, actually, that's good. That's a 9.
Roll the damage for your attack.
That's 2d6s. 2. 1, so 3 whole damage.
As you fire at this creature that's still got the knife sticking out of its head, that, from what you can gather, seems to have went deeper, Anna, from when it barged in the door there. You fire the bullet right through its wing, and with one last screech of pain, the creature falls to the floor. As suddenly a green liquid that shot out of its wing lands on it, and sizzles as it hits the wooden floor.
I'm going to go stand over it with my gun still drawn, pointed at it, in case it starts moving again. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know if it's actually dead, so I'm going to err on the side of caution and keep a gun trained on it.
Rachel's just like, I got the fire. Oh, okay. Oh, looks like you got it.
The fire is going very well. It is lit in the basket now, after a few failed attempts.
She's just gonna put the fire down right next to this thing and kind of have it between her and the.
Maybe take the fire outside. I don't know how I feel about having the fire in here. Seems too much of a risk.
All right. Well, if you guys have got this, then I'll go dump that outside. Kind of limps out the door because she's hurting pretty bad. And is Anna's conscious, right?
She would be, I believe.
All right. So Rachel will ask everyone in general, did anyone pack any first aid supplies or anything like that?
No.
What I will say is, Anna, you are now hard of hearing.
What?
Very funny. So, Artie, you're still lying on the floor if you'd like to get up.
Okay.
Just so you're aware of that. So Anna takes out the first aid kit.
Oh wait, can I just get up then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've gotten up.
First thing I do is I bandage my own head.
For that, I'm gonna get you to do a first aid check.
That's a pass.
Now, unlike most games, or most simulations, this is very brutal when it comes to your physical fortitude. First aid can only give you a maximum of 2 HP back. How well did you pass? What did you roll?
I rolled a 35 and my percentage is 40.
In that case, I'll get you to roll a D4, a D2, sorry.
Alright.
And there you are. That's the max amount that you can take from that kit.
Cool.
You watch as she bandages her head, and the professor's standing over the creature, I'm assuming with Artie, and Rachel's just took the fire out and came back in.
And good, first aid. Do you guys want help? Because I don't know about you, but I am full of glass. I mean, I feel like one of those cabinets where you keep the glasses. I feel like that full of glass right now.
It might be a wise idea to try and move some of it. I'll be fine for now. Might be worth trying to get an inspection on this creature. I'm not sure what it is, and I'm not entirely certain if it's dead.
Artie, I'd like
Rachel and I sit next to each other and do the monkey thing and just take the shards out of each other's backs.
While you're doing that, Artie, I'd like you to roll a spot hidden.
Ah, damn it. 73. Wait, what's my... Oh, 25, yeah.
You're looking at this thing and think it'll be a good idea to probably touch the green goo.
Okay.
He's a PI.
I'm just saying
with
that's
a
what you think
25
is a
and
good
spot
idea.
hidden.
Alright, I'm not gonna do it then. I'm just gonna ponder on that for a little while.
So, I just in case, I left the fire in the basket outside, and it's probably still going. We could just try to drag this thing out and try to torch it. And Rachel's doing this out of curiosity because she'd really like to be able to write an article on this thing, and so she really wants to see if it is indeed fireproof or not.
Did you put the fire in the front garden?
Well, yeah, just kind of in the driveway, gravel all around.
It's just more of, I think, the fire mixed with the repeated gunshots will probably draw some unwanted attention.
Yeah. So, we gonna try and torch it?
I mean, are we?
Yeah, I think...
If we're burning a corpse in a front garden, it might not look the best if the authorities were to come by.
Anna Vixen, I'd like you to roll a spot hidden.
Is there any chance... No, is this thing still alive, or is it like, completely dead?
You have no idea at the current moment.
Which is why I'm holding a gun pointed at her.
Can I... Okay. I'm gonna interrogate.
Before you do that, Anna, what did you get on your spot hidden?
Too much.
Sorry?
Too much.
Yeah, very well. You continue just putting out glass. Artie, how would you like to interrogate this thing?
I think I want to do the stereotypical, pick it up and smack it in its face and try and wake it up to see if it gives me answers.
Grab this creature, I'm gonna need you to roll, let's say a conceal.
Oh, 2. Wait, what's my conceal?
As you pick up this creature, it drips some of the green goo that was inside it on your jacket. And suddenly, like sulfuric acid, it burns right through all the way down the sleeve, none of it touching you as you pick up the creature.
Okay, with that,
Slap it like some sort of thing, I guess, like a fish.
Yeah, okay. As I slap it, I see my burn sleeve and automatically drop it in shock.
It hits the floor with a loud thud, clearly having some sort of solid structure to it on the inside.
This is gonna make such a cool article.
Professor, roll a spot hidden. Sorry to cut you off there, Rachel.
No, I was about to ask about rolling one of those.
But you roll a spot hidden, Rachel, you continue what you were saying, sorry.
Hey, Anna, do you have any extra bandages?
I turn the other side of my face towards you so you can repeat it and then give you some bandages.
Alright.
As that's happened, Professor.
I rolled a 39 and my spot hidden is 40.
Very well, I'll answer that after you tell me what you were originally wanting.
Well, what I was originally wanting to do was to have a look over this creature that we have before us and see if I could ascertain any useful information about it just from a distance without actually having to touch it, because it looks very not good to touch.
As you look over the creature, I'll allow you to roll a biology.
Biology, I've got a whole 1 in that, so that'll be great. Yeah, no.
However, you're looking over it, not really seeing anything of use until you spot what's something that seems to have popped out of one of its weird skin folds as some sort of diamond shape on a golden amulet sort of looking thing that is... and it is letting off a small hum. However, you also can smell smoke as you turn your attention out the front window. The small paper basket has went up in a blaze and seems to have caught fire to some of the bushes in the garden.
Whoops.
The professor's the only one who's noticed this at the current moment.
Oh, okay.
So, do you know how you put the fire out the front garden? Could you go check on it for me?
Yeah, and should I also do a first aid check or anything to see if I healed any?
You can, yes.
Okay, I'll do that and then go check.
So if I bandaged her, does she do the first aid check to see whether it affects her? Or
Since
do I
you're
roll it?
both doing it, I will let you quickly decide right now who wants to roll.
What's your first aid?
No,
Mine's
3, 2, 1.
I'll roll, but I did roll, but I'll roll again because I passed that one, and if it's equal, does it pass?
It does.
Okay, it's a pass then.
Roll me a d4 to see how well you heal up.
Very well, all of 1 point.
It is more. That's half of the maximum in one day, so not too bad. And
All right, and then she'll go out and try to check on the fire.
as soon as you stand up, and you notice the smoke billowing into the skies through the window, and probably run out.
Yeah, and she's gonna do her best to put out that fire.
From what you can see, it looks like the bin was caught by the wind and launched into some sort of dried bush near the front of the house. It looks like you don't have much time to put this out before the actual house catches ablaze.
Okay. Hey guys, I messed up. Help.
Artie, Anna, you go after you go help her. I'll keep an eye on this thing.
Rachel, I would like you to roll a spot hidden at this point.
Let's see. That's. Oh yeah,
I just did a look. I saw that.
that
That's
is
not
not a
good.
pass.
That is
Yeah.
not a pass. Very
That is not a pass.
You are watching and shouting for help as who is it that comes out? Anyone?
Oh, come out.
Very well. Artie and Anna run out. The professor's still inside. Would you like to do anything inside, Professor?
I would like to, if possible, find something like a stick or something to try and hook this amulet up without having to touch it.
There are some writing utensils on the various tables in the room.
Just something I could try and hook it out with without having to touch the.
It doesn't have a
thing.
chain. It just seems to be solid, the base of the amulet.
And I will, as daintily as possible, try and take it out of the thing.
Very well. You pick up the amulet. At this point, I am going to get you to roll a D100, and I am not going to give you any statistic.
This kind of honestly was expecting that out of character. But, that's a 33.
You pick up this device, and as you pick it up, you feel yourself slow right down as you turn to look out the window. Even though you're processing information at your standard speed, everything around you and including you seem to have slowed to a crawling pace.
That is not good.
As you say this, it comes out more as, "This is not good." At this point, I'm gonna get Artie and Anna to roll a spot hidden.
Close.
30.
51. And my percentage is 55, so...
Oh, 25 from me.
So you both pass, if I'm correct. You notice that as Anna's shouting, thinking it's just the bush that's on fire, actually it's the whole left side of the house is caught ablaze as the wind has picked the flame round the corner. And you realize that the professor should probably get out of the house because structural damage seems to be happening.
Am I aware of any of this?
You are not. You are moving.
Professor, Can we just see you out here for a minute?
What you hear very slowly coming through the glass is and that whole sentence, and as you would respond normally, you find yourself slowly turning to the window at a snail's pace, everything moving at normal and looking totally normal to the rest.
I will go out to the door as fast as I can, I guess, in my current state. I might also put the amulet into a pocket.
As soon as you put the amulet in your pocket, so you begin moving towards the door. For everyone else, this happens in normal speed. He moves towards the door and puts something in his pocket and comes outside. However, for you, Professor, what you experience is what feels like an hour's run. It takes you almost an hour to get to the door in your head, in your processing speed, as you put the amulet in your pocket and get round. In that hour, you have many thoughts about what is going on, what is happening to the world that you live in. What is this creature that is sitting on the floor? How did you survive this encounter? You have seen some horrendous things during that great war, yet this somehow is beyond anything you've ever comprehended, and I would like you to roll a sanity check.
That sounds about right.
Sorry, while he's rolling, did I take my knife back?
No.
That
Okay.
would be a fail.
You are gonna take a D6 of sanity damage.
That would be 3.
These questions, as soon as you put the amulet into your pocket, slam into the front of your head like a train slamming into the end of the tracks. As you suddenly find your movement going at full speed, and you lose your balance slightly, and you make your way out of the house to everyone else.
Yes, sorry about that. Oh, fuck, that's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there someone we could contact about this? Is there fire people?
Well, what are they gonna do? I mean, the house is already like engulfed in flames. This is done. We should
That's the
leave.
fastest house fire I think has
Oh, we
ever
just-
happened.
Are we just going to run? We're just going to leave the house to burn?
I mean, no one's inside. I just don't. We can't save the house, right? Really?
As you say that, suddenly you hear as suddenly parts of the roof seem to cave in slightly, and it becomes clear that the structure of this thing is pretty much gone on the left side.
Well, do we leave then? Do we just go?
Seems good to me.
Cool. I will put my gun away.
Can we see if the thing is caught fire or not?
I will allow you to roll. I feel like just a flat percentile check will be fair enough. It's not really hitting. 50 or under.
That's 55.
You try to get close.
Rachel will have to leave and just never know.
As you get close, you look through the glass. You can see the creature still there as flames engulf the reading room. And suddenly, a burst of flame sparks up in front of you, and you jump back, no longer being able to see into the house.
Yes, well, I think it would be wise to maybe leave. Can I roll spot hidden or something to see if there's any neighbours watching, or is it...
I mean, I'll tell you straight off the bat, there's probably no one nearby. The smoke will be drawing attention in the distance, but from what you saw on the way up, there was no one in the nearby vicinity.
Suppose we should...
So guilty.
I suppose we should go. I think going would be wise.
So you,
all that.
so you all head into the car. My question becomes, where would you like to go?
I think we head off towards the mountains and investigate there. I do feel like I am suggesting an awful lot of ideas, if I gather. But I do think
let's.
that would be wise.
Well, what about the hills, that address?
We can also check that, I suppose. Yeah, that also works.
Very well. As you get in the car and drive off down the road, you begin to hear the bells of the fire trucks in the distance ringing. Thankfully, someone has probably noticed the smoke by now.
Can we head along?
And what I will tell you is you're heading the opposite direction from that, heading towards the hills. The address, when your colleagues look it up on the map for you, Professor, reveal that it is right underneath the mountains and is pretty much at the start of the climb up to the top. It is the most desolate house in the region. As you far along the road, pardon the pun,
Fire.
you just see the house crumble into flame. Anything that was there is now gone. Any evidence or any hope of finding Bartley Hodge that may have been in there will no longer be possible to use. You continue on down the road, and about half an hour later you find yourself pulling up to what looks like the ricketiest shack you've ever seen, almost like the man made it himself out of logs he found. It doesn't look the most sturdy, and it's surrounded by loads of trees. Once again, none of the trees in this area have leaves. They all look dead. And the grey clouds that were looming over the city this morning seem to have gotten darker as night is beginning to fall upon. Would you like to proceed cautiously or go straight up to the house?
I'd go straight up to the house.
Yeah, maybe
I'll
ask
go
as
on
well if we can. Don't threaten people.
I will make sure my car is very well parked and isn't going to go anywhere.
Do you park it near the house, or do you park it a little bit away? That's my question for you.
I'll park it nearby, but not too far. So, we can, short walk.
As soon as you park up, Artie's straight out the car and charge into this house for answers, with Rachel chasing after, being like, please don't do anything foolish. Professor, and I'm assuming you follow also.
Yes, at a much more leisurely pace.
As you arrive outside the house, you can hear what sounds like a man inside talking. You can't really make out what he's saying at this current moment, but through the window you can see his shadows moving about, and as if he's having some sort of heated conversation.
Can I try to listen with my good ear?
I'll
Because
also try to listen.
Because, Anna, you only have one ear now, I'm gonna have to have you roll twice at disadvantage and take the lowest, please. The highest in this case.
I mean, I still have the ear, it just doesn't work at present. Aha! Both pass. I had a 20 and a 35, and my listen is 55.
35. Rachel, you may also. Anyone who would like to try and listen may roll just now.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, that's a fail.
That's also a fail.
I rolled an 87.
I feel like...
A 1.
Well, Anna, you slightly can hear what sounds like some sort of argument, but you can't exactly make out the words, other than the occasional thing of, look, I did what I could, and that's all that matters. I'm doing what you ask. What more do you want? That is all you sort of hear. Whereas Artie, you hear from the other side, in between his pauses, you were meant to get rid of the body, you moron. Why is he sitting there on the hill still? Why have you just left him there? They're going to find him. They're not going to be happy. Look, I know, mate. I know that they're not going to be happy, but, I've done my best. Have you done your best? Have you really done your best? Because the body's just sitting in the open. I know, but I did my best. And that is what you hear, Artie. You only hear one side of the conversation, Anne.
Would I still recognize the voice?
you only hear one side of the conversation, so you can't hear the other voice.
Yeah, but I can hear one voice.
Oh, would you
Can
recognize the voice? Apologies.
Yeah.
You would not.
Because it sounds suspiciously like the two people we met in the square earlier. Well, no, like one of the two people we met in the square.
You may
earlier.
roll a dice for that.
What would I roll?
Let us just roll a flat check. Anything under 50 will be a success.
It's a fail.
That's definitely the guy. Wait, no, you never spoke to anyone at the gentleman earlier. That was just the professor.
Yeah, that was...
What you hear.
But I heard them.
No, you weren't with him. He walked away from you. What you hear is the shopkeeper is talking in there.
Okay.
It's the shopkeeper, definitely.
Okay.
I am very surprised.
People who pick their own pickles are obviously criminals.
Artie, would you like to do anything? Would you like to share any information, or are you still charging towards this door?
Well, I've slowed down to listen, and I'm edging towards the house, listening carefully.
As you get closer, you can roll a flat check to see if you can recognize the voices also.
Hey, I got 69 again.
Nice.
What you realize is you're not hearing two different people speak. You're hearing the one man speaking to himself in a slightly different pitch. Look, just go up there, apologize to them, and say, look, I'm sorry, but I can't just leave him here. I need to get rid of it because they'll be okay with that, right? Are you stupid? Are you actually stupid? Think about this. If you go up there and you say, sorry I left him out in the open, I knew he's all cold when you needed him hot, warm-blooded or some nonsense like that. You think they're gonna let you live, mate? You think they're gonna let you live? Because of you, we are not gonna get what we were promised. And that's not
I
good
slam open the door.
As you slam open the door, you see the man standing next to a fire with what looks like a bottle of mud and a glass of blood. Yeah, those things rhyme for some reason, just by chance. And sitting on the table is also a loaf of bread that is definitely past its expiry date, shall we say, considering the fact that it is almost purpley green. That he is just picking up a bit of, taking a bite, and spitting out.
That's gross.
Who is this? I don't know. How am I meant to know? And what you see is the guy actually is turning at 90-degree angles to talk to himself. And then he looks at you and says, hi, who are you? Yeah, who the fuck are you? And
Okay,
the
this
rest
guy
of you-
clearly... No, this guy's clearly not right. So I want to be a little bit more forward and take a few steps in and say, hey, who have you left at the hill?
He knows. He does. And you see him reach behind the fireplace on the side of the house.
Then I'll reach out my
And he whips
hand.
around the shotgun and he fires, shooting at the ceiling. On you go. You may roll if you like.
Okay, I'll roll.
The others, you have now seen him slam open the door and have started hearing and seeing elements of this scene unfold.
Assume we hear the
Rachel,
gunshot.
You hear the gunshot and you probably heard the two voices now say about him being in the house. Who are you and why are you here?
I
Sort of
will
thing.
stick him round the door, pointing my gun towards him with my hand above my pocket where the amulet is. Offhand.
Rachel will run in and see this. And she hasn't noticed that the person is talking to himself, right? She wouldn't have heard.
She wouldn't have heard, but what she'll have noticed is the fact that there's one man and there's been two voices. That's about it.
All right. Well, she's just gonna go and look at the man and go, look, wait. We don't have to shoot each other because look, you can be friends with him, And then she's gonna look back to the man and be like, and you can be friends with him.
As you run in and start saying this, Artie, I'm assuming you've rolled to fire, so let's see what did you get.
Oh no.
I got 34, and I've got 65 for the handgun.
So as Rachel is trying to convince this man to calm down. Wait, did you roll 64 or your stat is 64?
My stat is 65, and I rolled a 34.
Okay. Roll damage.
Damage.
It probably says a dice roll plus DB.
65. Oh wait, DB?
Damage. We're looking for damage.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so that's gonna be a 2.
And I'll give you a bonus of 6. That's 5. As you shoot him in the shoulder and he hits the ground, dropping the shotgun that he just fired off. He does not look to be in a good way. This man is older, he's looking at you all like you have just invaded his house and shot him for no good reason, pretty much.
It's almost like that's what we did.
Rachel's gonna
I'm staying
round
the
on
F
Artie
outside, by the way.
Yeah. And she's just gonna go, why would you shoot the person with the information? This is the person with the information. You don't shoot the person with the information.
I've got an idea. I walk up to him, bleeding on the floor, and I go, you're bleeding, you're dying, I can't stop you. So I stand on his shoulder and say, tell me everything you know.
Oh my god. I think for this, we're gonna get you to roll a advantage persuade, so whatever your persuade is, I'm gonna say add an extra 20% on to the actual base stat that you have for the moment.
While she's rolling this, can I have a quick check around the sides of the house to see if there's any...
You can roll a spot hidden for that. Artie, if you give me a roll for your persuade.
Alright, so 35... Wait, persuade... 37, and I have 35.
Is your base 35?
My base is 35.
Okay, so we're adding 20 on to make it 55, so you succeed. Oh, you bastard! What was the question? What was the question again?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, it was, tell me, where is he? In a Batman voice.
I mean, I'd like to see the attempt of the Batman voice, please.
Yeah.
Where are the drugs going?
Where are the other drugs?
He's up the hill. He's up the hill. He's towards the top. He's near the things. Just let me go. Yeah, let me go. Let me go, so I can cut your insides out and eat you. At which point he's going to try and punch you in the testicles.
Oh, God.
He does not punch your testicles, but he does punch you in the thigh very close. Not enough to hurt you, but just enough to push you off him.
I'm gonna get deck punched. That must be a D100 damage.
Professor, we'll come back to you after this scenario's unfolded inside the house. Rachel, would you like to do anything? The shotgun is probably sitting at your feet, might I tell you?
Yeah, she's going to just scoot the shotgun to the side as she goes over to the man and attempts to just put pressure on the wound, because that's about all that she knows, and just as in stabilize and just try to calm him down a little bit and be like, I'm so sorry.
As you make your way over to the man, and you are about to get down on his level, he swings up, headbutting you right in the nose, and you're gonna take a D2 damage.
Yeah, that's 1.
Your nose is possibly broken as the ridge swells up and blood squirts out. It lands on his face and he just licks it off. At which point, you may take an action if you want.
I rolled over my spot hidden so we don't find anything.
But you just walk around the house while this is happening.
Just have a check.
Artie and Rachel.
Rachel's gonna just point at one of her bandages and be like, I was trying to help, and just like indicate bandage, face, bandage, or shoulder, bandage, shoulder. But she's now keeping her distance and just standing there like this. Like, oh.
As you kind of walk away, given that hint, the man does not seem to be paying attention. He stands up quickly, grabs the bottle of mud, spits off some sort of cork in it, and just starts drinking the mud straight from the bottle. Throws it on the floor. Good. That's the good stuff. As the mud just kind of drools over him and out of his mouth onto the floor. And then he looks over to you, Artie, and he's, well, time to deal with you. And then he reaches up to grab the hand axe above the fireplace on a kind of display.
And I'll pull out my gun again.
I mean, I'm assuming your gun's been out this whole time, so you may roll as he's reaching for it.
Alright. 27.
And that's a pass. Roll down.
That's a pass.
You said 2 the last time. I'll roll a 6 again. Okay, 6. You fire the gun right into his throat as he goggles, dropping to his knees, putting his hand on the wound. The blood pouring out draws his attention as he starts to lick it, wiping it all over his face, and then he puts his own hand and fist into his throat as he rips out his own voice cords and begins chewing on them as he drops down to the floor, head falling into the fireplace. And at that, I am gonna need Rachel and Artie to roll sanity checks.
I was gonna say, I think Rachel just starts to cry. She just starts to cry.
Shoot it again. Shoot it more times.
Oh, I failed that sanity check.
I got a 17.
For those who failed, you're gonna roll a d8 of psychic damage, a sanity damage, and for those who passed, I'm gonna make it a d4.
That's 2.
That's
all right.
Artie,
I thought it was a
D4.
7, but it
3.
turned out to be 2.
This is a sight unlike anything you've ever seen. It is gruesome, grotesque, and truly haunting. Flashes of this will follow you to the grave for the rest of your lives.
I'm so happy I stayed outside.
The smell
Rachel's
of
just
burning
gonna
flesh hits your nostrils as his scalp
leave
is on fire.
the house
Bacon.
and just start. She's just crying, and she just walks out and goes to look for Anna.
As soon as I see her, I run towards her and start looking at her nose and taking care of her.
As the smell of flesh hits your burning flesh hits your nose, Artie, you find yourself profusely vomiting all over the floor in front of you. I'm assuming you now exit the house,
Yeah.
closing the door behind. Professor, you arrive round to the front of the house after hearing what sounds like gunshots and some sort of carnage, and then see that Artie's got a tiny bit of sick on his face. Rachel's nose seems to have burst, and she also seems to be shaken to her very core.
I was gone for like 30 seconds. What the fuck happened?
Too much.
Not good.
Let's leave. Let's go. The hills?
Did you get any leads?
The hills.
Yeah.
Let's go to the hills. Away from here.
Should we take the car or are we walking?
Oh no, let's walk. Yes, the car, of course.
Okay. I shall go get the car ready. Looks like Rachel might need to sit down.
You may roll first aid, Anna, for...
Yep, that's a pass.
Very well. You get into the car, and you can roll a D2. The max you can take is 1. Yeah. So I guess I should have just said 1. And you head to the car, and the 2 shaken individuals are still looking a little white on their faces from what they've seen, but they're standing in there for now. I will warn you that you do feel dread going up to these mountains, the two of you. And in particular, you're aware that the sights you're about to see could be so much graver than what you've already seen. Professor, I'm assuming you begin the drive up the mountain.
Yes.
I'm gonna get you to roll a drive for this.
Well, I've got a 50 in drive, so coin toss really. If I don't drop my dice everywhere. That is a 35 under 50.
As you find yourself driving past the house, suddenly the terrain is much steeper. Your car begins to struggle with the slope and the bumpy terrain. After about 45 minutes of driving, the engine's been struggling this entire time with smoke starting to billow out, and the cold has started taking effect on your tires, making the grip loosen. At this point, Professor, you could probably park the car knowing that you will safely get down the hill.
Yes.
But pushing it any further will not be
I
wise.
will relay this to the group. It's probably going to be a bad idea to take it any further. So you might have to advance the rest of the way on foot.
Rachel,
How far up are we?
You're about 3/4 of the way to the top. Is probably going to be another half an hour, 45 minutes walk. Night has fallen and the wind and the cold have picked up. Even in this heated car that you've been sitting in, with your shared body heat, you can still feel the piercing cold. You know that when you go outside, it is not going to be a pleasant experience.
Rachel is she's got her notebook out and she's just like, if I write it all down, it'll all be fine. If I write it all down, and she's just repeating that and just trying to take notes on what's happened, but just basically just writing that things went downhill.
In the drive up, how has Artie responded?
Well, he said that someone is definitely up the hill, and if it's who we're looking for, if we don't find him, then any chance of him being alive in the morning is gonna be 0.
And the other thing I will say is probably on this drive up, Artie has been drinking a lot more than usual. That bottle of scotch that you took from the house, you probably drank almost all of it. If not all. You're feeling very at ease after what you've seen. But in his stupor, he is able to convey that information.
Yes, I think it would be in our best interest to get out and just deal with it tonight. I've had worse conditions. Are you all okay to go?
Let's do it.
Okay.
As you
Yes.
head out the car and continue up the hill, I'm gonna get you all to do a very simple flat dice check, where the difficulty is gonna be 35 or under to succeed.
I've had worse.
Oh, look
Got a
at us
9.
sailing.
Artie.
A
Stop.
9.
Gumshoe. Did you pass?
Yes.
Very well. Anna.
Fail.
Rachel.
Nope.
And Professor Stark.
Fail.
Very well. I need all
Don't
of you
mean
that failed
farewell?
to roll a d4 of damage as the cold blasts against your skin.
4.
I'm immortal.
I'm down to 3 hit points, guys. This is
Hey,
good.
same.
Anna, how do you feel?
I'm down to 4.
As you,
I've got 4 hit points.
Artie, you feel the cold blasting against you, but your thick detective's coat. You prepare for any situation, and let's be fair, the impression that most people get from you is you sleep rough, so you're prepared for these types of situations where it's cold weather. The rest of you are feeling the cold on your skin as the winds begin to burn your face with ice. There is no freezing to it quite yet, but parts of your skin getting hit with the wind the most have some speckles of blood coming out of your face.
It's fucking miserable.
You have the one thing is clear. The warnings of not to go up the hill were wise warnings. The weather is a dangerous mistress.
Anyone want to camp in the car for the night and check this all out at sunrise?
I don't know if that will be practical.
You've already been walking for about half an hour, and you can see the peak. I will give you that much information before you make a decision. The other thing is, you know that if Bartley Hodges is alive, he won't be for long in this weather.
All right.
I think get up to the peak and we'll have a look around, see if we can spot anyone else up here.
Rachel just tries to wipe her face and goes, well, he better be alive. And then continues walking.
I put my arm through Rachel's and, say some words of fortification and that we're in this together.
As you head to the top of the hill, I'm gonna have you all roll a listen check. Anything under a 5 will be a critical success in this case.
I got a 6.
I've been rolling really well, guys.
Did anyone succeed the listen check?
I succeeded. I got a 6.
Right. As you're walking up, the professor's ears pick up as he can hear the humming from the device in your pocket. And then you begin to hear some sort of hum coming from the top of the hill that sounds similar. Probably as you reach the 10-minute walk away, you can hear what sounds like zzz, zzz, zzz. It sounds more like the jittering and flittering of the wings of the creature you faced off. More than one.
I will hold a hand up to stop the party. I think it would be a good idea to maybe draw weapons. I hear something up ahead.
All right. Rachel also does so.
I will draw my pistol and then hold my hand above the pocket where the amulet is.
With everyone having drawn their weapons, you proceed onward to the top of the hill. As you get close enough, what seems to be, you find yourself stepping forward through what feels like some sort of cloud. And as you reach through the cloud to the other side of it, through the fog and the mist, you can see bright lights. Neon greens, neon pinks, colors that in this time you wouldn't really have seen unless you were at some sort of fancy casino. Very, very delicate. Translucent lights. They just light up the whole area. And the humming begins to permeate through the skies as you see the weather getting worse below.
Anything further on the bright lights, or is it just as we're approaching the peak?
So it's just as you're approaching the peak, the lights seem to be flashing out in bursts of some kind, illuminating the top of the clouds that you can see stretch for miles over the entirety of Jennings. And when you see as far as the edge of Jennings, the clouds stop, not in a curved sort of shape. The clouds around seem to be in a square-edged box around the area.
That's not very normal.
What color are the lights?
Well, there are neon purples, greens, reds, colors that you wouldn't really associate with anywhere other than somewhere like a really fancy casino that has lots and lots of money, because the kind of filaments used in lights like that would be more expensive. To us here running this simulation, these lights look more like LED sort of colors, so they are more bright and vibrant and more varying than the colors you would expect to see in some sort of neon technology. The lights are very
Is
much...
there a light source we can make out?
You
Is
can't
it sort
see
of coming
anything
from
at
the
the moment.
ground?
From which all you know is it's coming from up over the edge. The hill goes up another couple 50 meters and then goes to a flat edge, and the lights are just shooting out from over that.
I just want to try and sneakily peek into my pocket and see if that amulet is lit up at all.
Very well. If you're looking to do it sneak against the others, roll me sneak. If it's just you...
Sneak. Okay, this will go badly. Yes, it went badly.
The others see you look into your pocket, but they don't see what you're looking at. As you open your pocket, the red light that was glowing, the red gem in the middle, flickers, switching off and then solidifying blood red. The glow is very faint, but enough to light up your face as the others spot you looking into your pocket.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
This isn't of my intent. I'm not. So I found a thing on that bug we fought, and it's now glowing very bright, but touching it doesn't seem wise. Is it doing anything? Is it affecting me at all?
Not at the moment while it's in your pocket.
I will, with a single finger, just poke it.
Everything slows down once again, but still remains at the same speed, if that makes sense. Though you process information much faster, it feels like.
And just do that for like about a second of everyone else and then pull my hand away. Sort of as soon as I register that's what's happening, I'll take my hand off of it.
Very well, you do so, and you go back to normal.
How do you feel? Did it bite you or anything? What
no,
is it?
It's weird. It's like everything slows down. But I wouldn't want to risk exposing more people to it. If it's got me, I'm old anyway. You're all young and full of life.
Well, full of life. I mean,
Anna Vixen, I'd like you to roll a listen.
That is a pass.
From your acting days, you can decipher what... From understanding the fact that you need to know different languages and understand people's dialects, this sudden clicking noise that you can hear, and only you seem to notice it very faintly, sounds like some sort of language being spoken. And it's rhythmic.
Is it coming from the amulet? Is it just coming
It's coming from over
ahead?
the hill at the
Okay.
very top.
I think there's someone else here. I think there's someone at the top of the hill.
We'll pay them a visit. I think at this point we're paying them a visit. What we're on about.
I think so too. Let's just go quietly.
They seem to be some sort of person.
Yes.
I could see, I would take a person. Running into a person sounds really good right now. Running into a not person sounds less good. Let's not run into any not people.
Maybe it's Hodges.
What I'm
Do you...
gonna say
Yeah.
is, before that, is, Audie, roll me a photography check.
Oh, quite me. Okay. 33.
Which is a pass, because your base is 45, from my understanding.
Yes.
These flickers of light seem to be... They remind you of the red rooms that you develop your photos from your PI investigations. But the thing about them is, obviously, they're not all in the usual red color, the usual dark room color. But you get the distinct impression they're all of similar depth of color, meaning that perhaps they serve a similar function. Back to the conversation you were having.
Yeah, I think at this point we're going up. Just press on then.
Yeah.
Very well. If everyone could roll me a sneak.
I don't think I'm very good at that. I am not.
I am supposed to be good. I am very good.
I am bad, but I passed.
I'm very bad and I failed.
I failed.
Oh no.
Those who pass arrive up to the top of the edge first. Before you, there are 6 of these creatures that you've seen before. Three of them are in some sort of robing. They look like they've dressed for some sort of occasion. The robes are made of human flesh. And the clothes that the humans were still wearing are still dangling from them as they flutter their wings around some sort of stone table in the center of the area. Coming out of the table is a golden stick that is swirling round in circles. It has different colored gems on it. The colors that I mentioned before, the purple, the red, the green. There is a slot missing. A gem seems to be missing from this device.
It's the infinity stick.
The 3 creatures with the robes seem to be leading in the chants that these creatures seem to be performing. Whereas the others seem to be holding some sort of what looks like driftwood, but it's made of metal, and they are facing outwards away from the 3 that are in the center performing some sort of ritual over this table. The others who failed their stealth checks, I'm assuming that was everyone bar Rachel, correct?
I succeeded.
Oh, you succeeded. Was it the 2 gentlemen that failed?
Yes.
I failed,
Yes,
yeah.
it was, yes.
You very loudly just step up much higher than the other 2, drawing the attention of one of these creatures.
I look at
you
Rachel.
and
I look at Rachel and say, "See."
and it fires with some sort of blaster from this piece of metallic driftwood.
As I see a flash coming from him, can I quickly grab the gem, the amulet in the pocket?
Very well, you do that. And then, Artie, what would you like to... You've got a quick reaction to this.
Alright. Oh, are you talking to me or
I'm talking
Professor?
to you. You've got a quick reaction.
Alright. I'll dive out the way, yeah.
Roll me a dodge, please.
55.
Is that a pass or a fail?
No dodge.
As this device suddenly heats up in a strange color that you've never really seen before, it's almost like a blackness that just absorbs the light. It blasts out a pure black laser beam. As it hits you, you find your whole body freezing up like all the heat is just being absorbed out of you. And I'm gonna roll a d10 of damage.
Oh.
Oh, he did.
I could one
As,
shot it.
as this thing hits you square on the chest, you take 3 cold damage as your shirt freezes and cracks, and your skin beneath also freezes and blisters open, freezing the blood on your chest solid as flakes of your skin hit the ground, smashing like ice. As for the professor, you've reached into your pocket. You've grabbed the gem. Everything is moving so slow for you. At least it feels that way as you process.
Well, seeing as the one thing I
You
have...
won't have seen this
is-
yet. We're gonna go backwards in time. The thing
Seeing
has just
as
blasted the black laser out, and it's coming towards you two.
I want to first sort of take a step to the side of the beam, so it'll go past me, but I'll be out the way of it just enough. At the same time, I will take my pistol and I will aim it. And seeing as the one thing I have at the moment is plenty of time, I will use that to line up the best shot I can.
While you are processing this information and made that decision, you find your body isn't really moving as fast as you would like it to, and it doesn't really feel like you're necessarily moving fast enough to be able to have the advantage of dodging in the future. But thankfully, it wasn't aiming at you, it was aiming at Artie. However, you do find yourself pulling out the pistol and aiming it to the creature. The two ladies, would you like to do anything before the professor gets a shot in?
Well, Rachel's going to try to just use this moment to, since she hasn't been spotted, to move slightly away and to go find a place to just hide and try to take a shot off at the spinny light thing. As in, I know that would take a bit longer than all this, but
I'll allow
that's what
you
she's
to.
going to do.
I'll allow you to slink back under and start sneaking around because you haven't been seen quite yet, and you've made sure to duck under the ledge. And I'll jump to the others and come back to you momentarily. Anna, would you like to do anything?
I want to stay hidden as well, but have my gun ready.
Very well. Your gun is ready. After this creature's fired, the other two, with the driftwood, flap around to support in attacking. Professor, you may take a shot.
Cool. Do I get any advantage because I'm sort of processing stuff faster, or is it just normal?
I will say that your aim is slightly higher, so let's say that you get an extra 15% on your stat.
I will take that. That is still a miss, however.
As you're processing these things move, you're trying to line up exactly where they're all going to be. What feels like 15 minutes, but in reality is 15 seconds. You fire, thinking you're going to hit one just in advance, and you realize you're off by a micron. At which point, Artie, you can take a go, or the creatures will.
Oh, I'll try to raise myself up after being blasted and pretty much frozen. And I'll take this time to reload my gun.
Very well, you're reloading your gun as one of the creatures looks to the professor and fires.
Do I get to dodge?
You do, Professor.
Okay. I'll just try and throw myself down to the ground to be out of the way of it. That is a fail.
As you try to dive towards the ground, you find you've threw yourself in such a way that you've threw more of your body into it. As the laser hits you square in the stomach, you feel the warmth of your body exiting through this laser and into the atmosphere. But because you are processing it so slowly, you feel every tiny little bit of heat and warmth leave your body. Unlike for Artie, where he was an instant pain, for you, this feels like an eternity, some sort of torture that only some sort of sick being would inflict on you. Perhaps your god has abandoned you if you have one. And I need you to take a sanity check before anything else.
Okay. That is a success.
You're gonna take a d4 of sanity damage.
It is 1.
and then you're gonna take 4 damage from the
4 regular damage will put me to -1.
As you slowly feel all the warmth exit your body, you feel your skin freeze up and your body solidify as you hit the ground. Not totally dead, just very, very close to it as you feel, for what feels like forever, your life force leaving you. And as you lie there, in what is only a matter of seconds for everyone else, your arm shatters clean off. The bone snapped in half. You see it, you feel it, you know an unimaginable pain. Sadly, you were not driven insane enough to ignore this pain. And with that, Professor, you have breathed your last breath.
What?
Now,
This is the first time I've seen someone die, so...
This is the first time I've died when I've been a player, so I'm sitting back, I'm enjoying myself.
Artie.
See how that feels?
Artie. What would you like to do?
Well, that I've reloaded, so I think I'm gonna have another shot at like shooting these things. So roll 33, and so that is a pass for me for using the handgun.
Very well. Roll the damage. So we'll say it's a D6 plus a D8, let's say, plus your 2 that you pulled out before.
All right, so that is 6, so 8 altogether.
Also, your camera seems to have dipped and we're losing your face.
Oh,
There
we go.
So how much damage was
Where
that?
am I in relation to Artie? Sorry.
I'll tell you in 1 second after I get an answer.
That's 8 altogether.
You fire at the one that just shot your kind of friend, the man that you've became sort of acquainted with and happy to call an acquaintance, at least. And you shoot the one that got him square in the face, blowing its head clean off as it drops its gun. Anna, you are just behind. Artie dived to the right. Let's say that you're a few feet over to the left, tucked under.
Can I shoot from there to make it sort of look as if he's fired another shot?
That I'm gonna have to get you to roll a sneak. And then a firearms, of course.
No.
So you fail to make it look like he's done it. Now roll firearms.
Okay. That is a 19. That is... Whew. Okay, yeah.
Roll your damage. You can successfully hit one of them. But you're...
5.
As you try to subtly do it, you find yourself leaning up a bit too high. Fire. One of the ones... You can choose a target. You can choose one of the 2 with the driftwood or one of the ones with the ropes.
Robe.
You hit one and you hit it in the sort of shoulder area. That's the only way I could describe this thing, as the fleshy skin clothes that it's made fall and dangle off, revealing more of its grotesque, writhing body. It takes a fair bit of damage as acid splurts over its acid blood splurts all over the table. However, it seems to still be flapping away, just keeping itself just off the ground. At this point, I'm going to roll for them. Okay. As you see, the The stick in the middle seems to be spinning faster and faster. The lights flashing faster and faster as it spins. Rachel, by this point I would say you've got yourself to a secure enough position where all this carnage is happening to try and take your shot.
Alright, well, Rachel is going to... are the woods, by the way, are they dry or wet at the moment?
Are you talking about the things they are holding?
Oh, the area around. Is there any kind of...
It will be covered in
shrubbery,
condensation.
bushes?
No, it's very much a flat, grassy plain. Everything seems kind of wet and moist. You've kind of passed the clearings of the trees. In terms of the wood, there is none in this area.
All right. So in that case, because Rachel still has the matches, but in that case, she's gonna leave that plan and she's gonna take a shot at the spinny thing from where she is.
Give me a roll for that.
All right. That is a pass. So, should I roll damage?
You should.
That's okay. 1d10. This guy. That is a 1. Oh, I get 2 shots per round. Does that matter?
I will say you can roll damage again.
Okay. 4.
So that's a total of 5.
5.
You step up, making sure to aim as best you can. Click. Bullet flies through the air. Ting! It hits what, as the purple light swings round, catching your eyes. You sort of move, just clicking it and shimming the kind of metal that's holding it in place. The staff still spins. You quickly lining up the shot for a second attempt. Just as you fire, the purple light swings into your vision. Right into the gem. And the gem explodes.
Oh.
Bursting out a blast of multicolored light across the 3 closest of these creatures, obliterating them from what you can tell.
Well, I suppose that gave my position away.
Very much so. They've turned into... The light hits them as they light up and turn into ash. I'm gonna do one more roll here. And if I roll under the 20, something very horrendous is about to happen.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not a nice look.
I rolled a 22.
Oh, okay.
You jammy little suckers.
Yeah.
One of the creatures turns and faces you now, very much aware that you're there. I will say that these things are distracted from what's just happened behind them. So, Anna and Ada, you may take another shot right now if you're very quick.
Alright, I'll take a shot. Roll. I've got a 26, so that pass. And damage. 2.
Sorry, you... what was your damage, sorry?
2.
2. Oh, okay, you shoot the one in front of you. You shoot right through its wing as suddenly splurts of acid blood sparkle out, hitting on the charcoalized ground behind it. At which point I'm gonna pass over to Anna to take your turn.
So I was thinking, this is probably not fast enough for this thing, but I'm thinking I could turn bandages and iodine into a very corrosive Molotov bandage of sorts.
If you're gonna do that,
It's not going to explode, but it's on
what
fire.
I'll say is you
and
can
I can
spend
throw it.
you can spend your turn doing craft. That is a skill set. or you can fire a bullet. It is up to you entirely.
So, how many creatures are there still?
There's two
There's
left.
one facing.
One facing you two,
Yeah.
you and Artie, and the other is turned to face Rachel. The one
facing Rachel.
Yeah, the one facing you and Artie has took some damage.
Well, in that case, I'm going to fire a bullet at that thing. But I miss.
The bullet flies off into the distance. Now the creature's turns. The first one tries to fire its driftwood, but something seems to go wrong, and it just kind of it lights up the black kind of heat to it, and then just disintegrates, just disappears. The other one that's facing Rachel fires and misses. So the one in front of you, Anna and Artie, no longer has a weapon, as the weapon just froze and turns to crumbling parts. Yeah. What would you like to do?
Was the amulet still in Professor Stark's pocket, or had he taken it out when he died?
I'm not going to answer that question if you don't know the answer. The answer would be it's still in his pocket, because that's...
Yeah.
But Rachel, what would you like to do, since you've kind of missed a turn there?
So, is Rachel kind of on a... Is there a ridge between her and where this thing is? As in, if she ducked, would she buy herself time?
She's not entirely bought herself a lot of time at this moment. If she ducked, she could, in theory.
Alright, well then she's gonna duck and just get ready to take another set of 2 shots if it comes closer again.
Cool, you kind of dive down the hill a little bit and make sure to hide yourself. Roll me a conceal. Conceal.
Oh, conceal, not a sneak goodie. Here we go.
Sadly, you can't.
That was barely a fail, but I failed.
You kind of dive, and you're still sticking out a fair amount. You're half behind the ridge, and you're half over, so you're still kind of hidden, but not entirely. But Artie, what would you like to do?
Wait, so how many monsters are there?
2. One in front of you and one facing Rachel, off further to the right. And in the center, there's a scorched stone table and just a blast radius of ash across the grass.
I will look over at the one that's facing Rachel, and since we've kind of gotten to know each other, I'll aim for that one and fire. So 12, and the damage 6.
You hit this thing in the back, and it kind of leans forward, blood splurting over, almost hitting Rachel as the thing flaps around facing you. Rachel, what you can see is a giant hole in this thing's back. Clearly, Artie has done some serious damage. Anna Vixen, would you like to do something before
I want to start building my Molotov bandage now.
Very well. Roll me craft.
No. That's a fail.
What? How bad of a fail?
Very bad.
I need the number, because if it's over a certain thing, certain other things happen.
It is definitely over a certain thing. It's a 92.
92. As you're trying to do this, you spill the iodine everywhere. Any hopes of building this thing are gone, sadly. The creature begins moving closer to you, Anna and Artie, the one in front of you, and it's going to go straight for Artie, flying full speed at you. Artie, you may roll a dodge.
Since I've just been kind of waiting as it comes into sight and goes from, can I try to hit it?
You can. I mean, they're both in sight the whole time.
I failed the dodge.
This thing flies right into your chest, knocking you, and it almost picks you up off the ground, and it keeps flying, and you find yourself no longer standing on the ground. You are now in the air. Just from the grapple attack that this thing has done,
Yep.
you have took a d6 of damage. I have rolled a 4,
my goodness.
so you take 4 bludgeoning damage.
Wait, a 6 or a 4?
I rolled a d6 and I damaged you
Alright.
for 4.
So okay, that's down to 3.
As this thing hits you in the stomach, you spit out blood. You find yourself now flying over the hilltop. The drop would be about 20 feet at the current moment. It seems to be circling back, however. What I will say is, Rachel, you may take a turn at this moment.
Okay, then I'm gonna try to shoot. So one of them has
One of them's got Artie in the air, and the other one was shot by Artie, has its back to you, moving towards Anna and Artie.
Oh dear. Well, then I'm gonna shoot the one that's moving towards both of them instead of the one that's flying. Okay. Attempt to, let's see. Oh yeah, I have to get. I make it, and it says I have 2 shots per round, so I roll a 7 on the first one, and then I roll a 3, so that's a total of 10.
Right into the gaping wound that Artie made, you fire your bullets. As this thing's chest cavity explodes, splurting green gloops of acid everywhere as it flops to the ground, splurting just close to Anna. The final creature is in the air, pushing Artie around and swirling back towards the hilltop. What would you all like to do?
Try to get rid of that one too, I guess. Unless, as
I
in,
should wait until it's back over the hilltop.
Yeah.
It seems to be also, as it's heading back to the hilltop, pushing upwards now, as it's getting closer. The drop is probably about 10 feet. It's now, from the hilltop, it's now pushing up so that the drop will be considerably higher. Artie, would you like to do something?
Oh wait,
Okay.
so you're being carried by it, and then if we hit, okay, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
I gotcha.
Not looking great for me.
Oh, no.
You can grapple if you like. You can do something to it while you're in the air. Trying.
Okay, no, I'm gonna take. Okay, I guess. Well, what else is there to do? I have my gun. I'll shoot it. Even though I think that's Okay, I'm gonna shoot it. So that's 34 pass. Damage 5.
I will allow you, because it's point blank range, to choose whether you double the damage or take 2 additional attempts at firing your gun.
Double the damage.
10. Your gun. It's parts of it, its head squirt off and acid shoots into the air. Just quickly roll for acid. None of it hits you, thankfully. It rains down around Anna. Thankfully, none of it hitting you either. The thing is still flying. It is still moving. Weirdly, the parts of its head seem to be filling in the holes but making fresh gaps all over it, and you begin to see inside this being. It is just made of teeth and fungus and mold inside of it. And once again, Artie, I require you to make a sanity check.
Okay. Okay, 94, and I have 56 left.
I require you to roll a d12.
D12. So that I go on 8.
Okay. Artie, you're far into this thing, and you've seen A man just killed himself earlier on by ripping out his own throat. You've now seen inside a creature that's unimaginably horrifying, undescribably disgusting. And you find yourself compelled to just put your hand inside its head. You just think that feels like the right thing to do. It feels comfortable. It feels inviting almost to you now.
I'll do it.
At which point I'm gonna get you to roll. Just a flat check to see what happens.
Alright, I roll
D100.
Alright, okay. Oh, 4, okay.
Not a single drip of its weird gloopy acid gets on you. However, you do find yourself compelled to just trust this thing and no longer resist it. Dare I say, you need to protect this. This is now your duty. This could very well be what you came here to do. This could very well be Bartley Hodges, the man you need to save.
Oh.
And you think that the others are the issue and need to be stopped.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
okay.
at this point, I'm gonna go to Anna. What would you like to do?
I don't think I'm very good at shooting anything. So I want to go over to Professor Stark and try to destroy the amulet.
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know what was in his pocket, but you can make your way over.
Well, yeah, I know there's something in his pocket though.
I'm gonna need you to roll. Let's say. I mean, do you have grapple on your sheet? I don't think you do.
No.
What I'll say to you is, he is frozen ice solid, and trying to get into the pocket seems, well, impossible at the current moment unless you can think of a solution to that doesn't involve you trying to reach in because his hand is blocking the way.
Just shoot my arm off.
What would you like?
No, well, I was thinking of setting your corpse on fire, to be honest. I don't know if that works, because you're
Is that what
frozen, but I don't know.
Are you gonna try that?
I'm gonna try that.
Okay. Bear in mind that Rachel has the only matches we discussed having.
Rachel, throw me the matches!
Rachel does so. And
Cool.
Is this something
Well-
called catch?
I'll just allow it. Give us a roll.
Okay.
Roll a 100. Let's see what happens.
That's a solid 50.
As the match lands on him, just like putting ice on an ice pole or an ice lolly or an icicle, it just slowly melts the part that you've put it on. A match will not be enough to defrost this human popsicle.
aw, that's so sad.
The creature is gonna take an attack now on Artie. Artie,
Yep.
what is your remaining HP?
3.
Oh, he did.
You find yourself compelled to be friends with this creature and embrace whatever it's got in store for you. You raise your arms, patting it on the back like it's your friend, as it flew up about 30 feet off the ground now, and it tilts down, full speed into the ground. As you find your body slam into the concrete table.
Take 1 damage.
As you find yourself slam into the concrete table,
I take 2 damage.
your skull cracks open as your brain pours out over the table. Your bones through your back and your arms, every one of them pop and crack with excruciating pain, and you find yourself mangled corpse on this altar as the
Am I still
creature,
alive?
and that is you sadly dead.
Oh.
As the creature flaps its wings up, looking towards the other two, clearly having taken some damage itself, but still just about standing.
Can I try to shoot it again?
I will allow for both of you to shoot at the same time.
Okay.
Alright.
Probably one. No!
I fail.
Me too. No.
As you both
Good
As
timing.
you both fire, both bullets just miss. All three bullets, pardon me. Rachel fires too. Did you roll twice there, Rachel?
No, but I realized I've been just every
I'll
time
allow
it's
you to
been...
roll a second time.
Okay, then from
considering
now
the
on.
circumstances.
Yes, that's a hit for all of 2 damage.
Just in that moment where all hope was thought to be lost, both of you fire, missing as it stands on the corpse of your friend. And then, as it's about to flap forward, its head explodes like a watermelon, sending chunks of purpley flesh all over. Green acid splashing towards you both as it falls off the altar, slamming to the ground, its blood mixing with Arda's brain matter. As its body slumps next to the professor's frozen corpse. The creature is dead. Ladies, what would you like to do?
Well,
Is there
there's not much
anything-
left here.
Yeah, just Rachel's just gonna go over to Anna and just check and see how she's doing, but more out of knowing things aren't good, but just like, what else do you do? That kind of a thing.
I mean, yeah. My guess would be destroy everything that's left, including corpses.
I think
There have been so many fires here, one more contact.
Alright. So, I guess try to build a fire out of anything that they have left around here. Oh, the driftwood things.
Mm-hmm. I want
the
to...
staffs.
They are made of metal, some sort of metal when you actually get closer to them.
Ah,
helpful.
I want to try to put everything, including the 2 mangled corpses, onto the area of the ground where I spilled the iodine, and then set that on fire. Because that shit's still corrosive.
For the sake of speed, you successfully do that, and it does take you a while. One thing you've come to notice as you've been in this area for an hour or so now, as you're moving corpses around, is the temperature doesn't seem to be as cold. It seems almost tempered, kind of room temperature, as you move the corpses and set them on fire, releasing Professor William Davis Stark's body and Artie Gumshoe's body from this realm, and also destroying the carcasses of the remaining creatures that had bodies left. And yes, Rachel, they are incredibly flammable. It's almost like the flame turns them into some sort of gasoline. All that as the flames begin to dimper, you see all that remains is one singular crystal, and behind you the altar where Artie had been tragically killed.
I feel like we shouldn't leave this here. And Rachel's going to use, I don't know, some. Do we have anything left? She might, if it's a little bit warmer now, she might somehow use her coat or whatever to try to, or maybe, yeah. So she would take off her coat, take off a sweater, and use the sweater to just like wrap the thing and put her coat back on and stick this wrapped leftover gem just in a coat pocket.
Very well.
Didn't you shoot the thing on the altar earlier and it kind of exploded?
Oh yeah, we could try shooting it.
Mm-hmm.
Point
From
blank.
a safe distance.
Yeah, let's do that. She'll take it back out and put it on the ground and
Very well. I'll say that you
Back
can
up.
easily enough shoot it, if you like.
yeah, well, I'll do so.
The thing explodes, but nowhere near to the level or magnitude of what happened earlier on. It's kind of just a small, like if a desktop computer nowadays was to explode, sort of thing, from water going on it. Like a little spark here and there, bit of smoke, and done.
Well, we should head back, I guess. I don't think I'll be going in to try to explain things and pick up that reward. I think just head home.
Do you know how to drive?
Yeah, car keys.
Did we leave the keys in the car?
For
Are
simplicity,
they in the
I'll say so.
in the yeah. It sounds like something Professor Stark would do.
Well, with that, the two, after you destroy the crystal and begin to make your way down the hill, you find the temperature begins to change up here. It starts getting a little bit colder, but not as cold as what it was down when you were on the way up. A few hours have passed, and it's no longer necessarily late evening. It's now more like very early hours of the morning as you find yourself approaching the car. Cold and ready to go home. Who would like to drive the car?
I'll drive.
Rachel opens up and gets in the car. Anna, for the first time, you decide to sit in the front passenger seat to sit with your friend and survivor of this ordeal. You drive off that mountain, being changed forever. The two of you no longer are unaware, blissfully unaware, of the dark truths out there. Anna and Rachel have become aware of the mythos that exists, the creatures in this world, and the creatures that are beyond it. They are leaving this place with more questions than answers as they head back to the city, hopefully not to encounter a situation quite as similar as this anytime soon. Hopefully they will heal up and go to the hospital. But the truth is, our case file on these two ends here for the moment. In terms of the town of Jennings, in the case of Bartley Hodges, it was reported that he was found on the other side of the hill a few days later, his corpse frozen solid. Our case files would indicate similar wounds to that Professor Stark received. And it is with that this simulation comes to a close. I thank you for being willing participants in this experiment. I thank you for delving into a case that was at first seemingly simple, but actually much darker than one would anticipate. Once again, I will remind you, watching at home, there are dark truths out there, and they are always looming. If you, like us, are curious to learn more, curious to find those answers, make sure you subscribe. And also, remember to be strange, but don't be strangers.